Hey guys, what's going on? This is The Process. That's going to take some getting used to for me because I keep saying it's The Process, but I renamed it Colin's Process strictly for search purposes because when you search Colin's Process, I come up, whereas if you search The Process, a bunch of other things come up. So you're here at Colin's Process. You can still call it The Process if you want, whatever you'd like, as long as you tune in. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So I'm back. New music, as you just heard. New name, as I just told you. And new guests, as you can guess. Today I am talking with my friend Phil. Phil, what's Phil's last name? I never even think of Phil's last name. You ever have a friend that you're just friends with for so long you don't even think of their last name anymore? It's Karlinski, I think. Or I might be like naming a serial killer. Or he has the name of a serial killer, I think. But it's Phil. And anybody who knows Phil, Filthy. Phil was a rapper. Ever since I've known him, he's been a rapper. And recently, after chasing that dream for so long, he's like come to the point where he's like, I don't think I want to do this. And he was at a point in his life where he was kind of like just at this crossroads and he's just trying to figure things out. And I'd love to talk to a person like that. So we sat down and had a conversation. Interesting thing about me and Phil, we had a falling out. Me and my friend Mike, we wanted to help Phil out with a bunch of things. Needless to say, things went south. Phil kind of went off the rails, said some things he shouldn't have said, wrote some things, posted some things, had a meltdown of sorts, and from there we had a falling out. We hadn't seen each other in a really long time, and I was in the gym, and I was just getting stuff out of my bag, and then all of a sudden I look up, and I see him standing there, hair down to his shoulders like Jesus. Now, last time I saw him, he had short hair. Now he has like Jesus length hair. Has his arms open, and he's jacked in shape. I was shocked. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to put all that behind me. And I'm going to hug this guy. And we hugged. And we talked. And we talked some more. And then we sat down and had this conversation. And how long is this conversation? Let me check here. Yeah, we went in Rogan style on this one. This is a 3-hour conversation. But you know what? It's really interesting because we talk about his life and like what he's trying to figure out and what made him stop being a rapper because he's always wanted that. And we talked about me. I talked about something I don't talk about a lot. I was like assaulted as a kid, not sexually. It was violently. And yeah. We just talk about we talk about forgiveness and we touch on a lot of different things. And it was one of my favorite conversations that I've ever had on the podcast, straight up. So, without further ado, welcome back and welcome me back and welcome Colin's Process back. Without any further ado, here is the infamous Phil Nasty, Filthy. You are now listening to The Process with Colin Cummings. That's my intro song right now. You like that? That's it. That's all I got.
Man.
That's crazy.
I know.
Birthright will do that. It's about crazy coincidences.
Yo, birthright. Or as I like to call it, brain right.
Yeah, right.
Get your brain right.
Yeah.
About Judaism. And get brainwashed. It's pretty crazy, man. Like I thought I was going on like a 10-day like vacation to Israel. Dude, and I'm just so exhausted because it was just one thing after the other. and like always like I find myself like this is me like at birthright, just like always like falling asleep in and out of like, man, why? Because we're first of all, like every day you have to wake up at around 6:30, 7 o'clock breakfast, and then 8 o'clock we're gone on the bus doing like some sort of activity, going somewhere, and then you get some free time for lunch, maybe like an hour and a half. But the best dude, it was really like summer camp, like going to like an adult summer camp.
Really?
Yeah, just we had like the last thing that we did was we went to a school and like we played with kids during recess, and then we did like a craft with them. Like a craft, like we cut out like Israeli flags and Canadian flags and like colored them in and like whatever with the kids.
Is that all it is? It's just flags? It's constant flags? You just have to do flag stuff all the time?
What do you mean? That was the only thing we had to do with flags. Can you hear me all right? Because
of course.
Okay, my levels are good.
Yeah.
They're good. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, like I feel like you must just have like a louder voice than me then.
Me?
Because like I feel like you're coming through.
Because you're like talking like this. And also it's hard for you to hear your own voice because you think you're just hearing it naturally, but you're actually hearing it. Anytime you have a misconception about it, you just go like this, hey, and then you'll hear yourself more. I can't tell if I'm clear. Whatever.
You're good. No, I hear you loud and clear.
No, I mean the video.
Oh.
Man, here with Phil.
Hello.
This is so odd.
I'm back in Thornhill, and
so am I. Fuck. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
And so are you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I wasn't here for so long.
So when exactly was it that you came back to Thornhill?
Only December. No. Like November 31st. I got back.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like a month ago, literally. Wow.
Early, man. It's just it was fun in Toronto. I had a lot of fun.
Tell me about it. Tell me about
Toronto?
Your year experience in Toronto.
Didn't you ever live in Toronto?
No. Like North York. Is that considered Toronto? No, that's not.
Yeah.
Like Toronto is like downtown, midtown. That's Toronto.
I was downtown, definitely.
That's Toronto. That's what I think.
Anyone from Thornhill would say I was downtown, definitely. But if you're from downtown, you're like, I was midtown. That's what you'd say. I'm gonna change this camera angle.
Okay.
We're doing it live.
Okay.
Let's keep doing it. So you went on Birthright? How was that?
I don't know where to start, man. It was intense. It was definitely.
Was it great?
It was great. I think you know what the craziest thing is? The first question that the tour guide asked us, and this just like gives it away right away. The first thing he asked us, who thinks they're here to get brainwashed?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the first thing.
Really?
Dude, the first thing he says. Like, that's out of all the things. Who thinks they're here to get brainwashed?
Did you raise your hand?
Raise your hand. And I think maybe one or two people raised their hand. And he's like, oh, so 2 people think they are and everyone else thinks they are but don't want to raise their hand. So he made like a joke out of it. Dude, it is like I'm just so exhausted. Like my mind is just done. I was done. I was by the end of the trip, like I was done with the people. I was done. I was just done with it. Dude, like, and it's funny. It's funny. So this one guy came with me to my place yesterday from the airport, and he came to my place to chill.
What?
For one of the guys from Birthright.
Really?
Yeah, Adam. He was a cool guy. We went to my house to blaze. And anyway, we were chilling, and like I'm like, why the fuck am I like chilling with this guy? I just chilled with him for 10 days. Like,
wow.
I don't want to see him anymore. And like another guy emailed me, and he's like, link up. And I'm like, man, like I don't want to see these people. Dude, I just saw them for 10 days.
Bro, they want to talk about the experience, right? Like that's what it is. They want to talk about.
I'm
like,
just
what they
done,
went through.
and I'm telling you, you know me. I entertained I entertained everyone during that trip. Everyone knew Phil by the end of it, and everyone knew that I smoked weed. So actually, speaking of smoking weed, every single day I smoked weed while I was there.
Really?
Yes, and that I can say is what gave me, I think I got the most out of the experience.
How did you do that?
So it's actually crazy how weed is there. So weed is decriminalized in Israel. Yeah. Medical weed is legal and weed is decriminalized.
Are
So
you sure?
1,000%. 1,000%. You can look it up. It's been decriminalized, and so you won't go to jail for weed. And we actually had a cop who was on our birthright trip. So for 3 days in birthright, we get like a few Israelis that come on the trip for 3 days to stay with us. One of them was a cop, and he was super cool. I was blazing in front of him, like fucking. He's like, he didn't care, and he's like telling us. So I'm like, yo, what happens if you get caught by the cops? And he's like, oh, they'll just take the spliff and throw it out, and that's it.
Really?
Yeah, they don't care. It's decriminalized. They don't care. Everybody blazes in Israel. Everybody. But dude, it's disgusting how they blaze, dude. It's like 90% tobacco, 10% weed, and the weed is not that great. So it's gross.
It's weird.
It's disgusting.
That's so weird.
So anyway, how I got
microphone down.
Down like this.
Yeah. Let's see.
All right.
There you go.
But now I feel like, do I got to tilt the mic a bit? Can you?
No, you can't.
No.
I'll turn it up.
Turn it up a bit.
See? Just talk.
Are you kidding? Is that okay?
Don't worry about your face.
Okay.
You're putting your face. Yeah, just talk.
Is that okay? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did I get weed in Israel? First, so I met Liran in Israel. The first day that I was there, we met in.
I should probably. You know what?
What?
We're gonna reiterate for a second. Sit over here for a second. This is pissing me off. I need to figure this out.
Okay.
This is how the professionals do it, guys. Just sit back there, like you're me.
Okay.
Sit. I just want to get myself in focus here.
Okay.
Bam. Done. You know what? Get up.
Okay.
Tell me something. Bang. There we go.
Yo.
Do you have a relative named Shawnee?
Shawnee.
Shawnee.
No.
You look like this girl I know, Shawnee.
No, I don't. I don't.
Everybody stiffens up when they put the headphones on and they get in front of the microphone.
Not me.
So what I actually was gonna say is I should tell you guys about Phil. This is Phil.
Hi.
I should even
Hello.
say that.
I don't know where I'm supposed to look at the camera.
Sure, if you want. I don't care. This is a more relaxed interview with Phil. We had a falling out.
Yes.
How long ago? Like 2 years ago?
Something like that. That sounds about right.
Yeah, I think so. Because I wasn't living downtown. That wasn't even like on the table yet.
Sorry about that.
But yeah. So we had this falling out, and I guess What even happened? So we, you fuck. Phil wrote a rap about me, posted it on my wall.
Okay.
Like a fucking guy.
But how did that all come about?
How did it come about?
How did it come about?
I literally said that we were trying to help. First of all, me and Johnson were trying to help you. Okay. All I needed you to do was send me all your songs, and I was gonna make music videos out of all of them. Okay. You're never gonna get that offer again in your life. No one. Then I might do it. I might offer it to you again, but nobody that you know would ever offer that to you. And I wanted you to send it, and you're like, what did you want me to do instead? You're like, all you need to do is this. I can't remember what it was, but you were telling me to do something else. I think maybe it was the vlog.
Something about the motion, that motion capture. I can't remember when you fucking take the time lapse, and I told.
Oh yes,
like,
I
no
was
one
vlogging and I was doing time lapses, and like all you need to do is start doing the vlog again or something. And I was like, what the fuck is this guy ordering me around for? Fucking ass. I was like, what the fuck? And then I got pissed off, and I said a bunch of shit to you. I think, and this is when I still think this is a good idea, but this is when we had the Facebook feeds of the battle raps.
Yes.
I still think that's a magnificent idea for anybody who's like a lyricist, to get a bunch of guys into like a Facebook feed and they just like battle rap.
And that's so funny. You know what's crazy? Just literally today, I had those raps that I dissed Foob with on my iPod, and like I wrote them on my iPod, and I deleted them today. I'm like, yo, I don't want to see this fucking.
Wow, look at that. You cleared it out, and then all of a sudden we were able to see each other. How weird is that?
Wow.
That's so weird. But yeah, you you wrote a rap about me, and then you wrote one about Johnson. Johnson was much more angry than I was because he sent you a phone. He did shit for you, right?
I'm a dick. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
I'm sorry, guys. I love you both.
Johnson, Johnson was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, he was pissed.
Cause he wanted a lot. He wanted a lot from me, and it was just like the social media thing, and like that. I think actually from that point, like I feel like I kind of like went into a depression from there, because like trying to like be on social media and like trying to like be like get somewhere through social media.
Yeah, Johnson wants people to work when it comes to social
media.
And
like when you don't see like the return from it, and it's just like when you just get like bots, when you just see like fake, and you're just like, what the fuck?
It's the worst.
It's like, what, like I feel like I miss that train, you know?
No, man, come on.
To make it on social media.
No, what do you mean?
Like I feel like everyone's already established. Like
everyone's already established on social media. What are you talking about? Like there's like a 15-year-old girl right now that's about to blow up on social media. Everybody's established. What are you talking about? At any point you can but you know what? At any point you can just start up again on social media. But you know Gary Vee, he said, I've posted about it like twice already. Gary Vee said, he's like, I posted every day for 8 years before anybody gave a fuck. So it takes time. But I mean, it's tricky. It's different now.
It's tricky. Right? It's tricky, man.
But I mean, so that happened. You wrote the raps. I didn't even read mine. I think Johnson read his. That's why he got upset. I didn't get upset because I didn't read it. I just saw Colin. I'm like, what the fuck does this guy think he's doing right now? I was like, no chance I'm reading this. Especially if he's like a province away, 2 provinces away. I'm like, fuck that. I won't even be able to do anything about it. So I didn't read it, but I think Johnson read his. He got mad. And then from there, I blocked you. Because that's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Sometimes it's an overreaction. But sometimes it's valid. But like when I stop being friends with somebody, it's like a breakup. I do it like a breakup. I'm like, okay, we're done now. I block them and like I don't want to see them again. But for some reason, I don't know. And like I haven't even talked about you or anything since. And then as soon as I saw you, I was like, oh, it's Phil. That's it. Like it was all done. It was all put aside as soon as I saw you. Fuck it. I don't give a shit. I don't know. That's how it came to be with me. I was just like, who cares?
Dude, that was very therapeutic, I think, for me, just like too, just
really?
Seeing you, yeah, man, because I felt like since we last had that interact, like it was like I love you, and like we ended like what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that's exactly it. So, and I've come to terms with a lot of stuff in my life, and getting mad is like not like I still get mad at things, but like not over stuff like that.
And like also when you get like how long are you gonna hold that?
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't do anything to you by me holding on to something like that. And like how weird would it be if like we saw each other just now and I'm like, fuck you. Somebody's like smiling with their arms open, and I'm just like, fuck this guy, and I like walk away. Like, I don't know. I'm not in a universe where that could happen. So like as soon as I saw you, I was like, oh man.
It was incredible. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment, man. It was just like being back from jail and seeing like a family member, you know? I swear.
That's so funny. Yeah. So that's what happened with us. So we haven't seen each other in a while. Even longer than like falling out. We haven't seen each other because you moved away for so long.
About like 5 years.
Now, yeah.
5 years, man.
It's fucked. And his hair's long. Before his hair was short, just so you guys know. So this is crazy. This is insane how long your hair is.
Yeah.
But I figured we'd do that. I've always wanted to have a falling out with somebody and then reconcile on a podcast, because I think I've always wanted to do that, because I think it's like so like why not? Like, why don't people expose themselves like this? So like I was a little wrong in like the way I dealt with it, because I was very quick to cut it off, because that's how I am with things.
And I was just childish and
Yeah.
like fucking talking some bunch of bullshit. Like that was just like fucking.
So it was just like, yeah, I'd rather reconcile in front of all these.
That's amazing. Wow.
All the dozens of people that are watching.
Wow.
All six of them.
That's
that are
therapeutic. Oh, what
Get
the fuck?
the fuck out of here. Sorry. Yeah, because like I don't know. I feel like that should happen a lot more on social media, as opposed to acting like everything's all good all the time.
Wow. Like that's
You know?
so real. That's so raw. You know.
Yeah, I'd rather it be like that. Plus, this is called the process, right? So it has to be like, it's a process.
It's more. It's not even the process of making a podcast, but like even the healing process of like, you know, like
like, why not? I'd rather it just be about like the process of my life, you know, than like just acting like things like this don't happen and take place with people. I don't know. Just something that came to mind.
Wow. And that's like, you know, if anyone sees this that has a falling out with someone, and then maybe they can like reconcile.
Yeah, just reconcile that shit. Like, as long as they didn't like stab you or something. Even if they did, maybe they had a right to or something. I don't know. Whatever your situation is.
And even then, like, should you still hold on to that? Should you try to find, like, which is like easier to say. It's easier to say that, but
it's true though. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I never
forgiveness, dude. Forgiveness. So, I don't know if you know Ritz. Have you ever heard of Ritz? He, the rapper?
No.
Ritz? No.
Ritz?
So, yeah, Ritz.
No.
You know Yellow Wolf?
Yeah.
So like, he has a song with he has a few songs with Yellow Wolf. True. That's how I heard of him. So anyway, I saw him live in Calgary, and I'll never forget the one thing that stuck out to me during the show. He said, like, no matter what through his life, like nothing brought him peace of mind until he forgave everybody.
Yeah.
That's ever done him wrong. Nothing has brought him like true peace of mind. Forgiveness.
Yeah. That is a key thing. There's actually a meditation, a guided meditation I do. It's from Mind Valley. Okay. This guy, Vishen, he narrates it. And he's like, picture somebody who you've had like a falling out with, or like a altercation with or something. Picture them in front of you. And then like, you think he's going to go to a place where you're telling them, or you think it's going to be them saying that, asking you for forgiveness, but then he says for you to ask them for forgiveness. And you're like, wait a second, what? Because like when you're meditating, you're like, I don't want to fucking do that. Because you're like picturing like this person. You're like, I'm not doing that with this person. And then he like, you know, like it goes back and forth. Like, you know, you ask for forgiveness and then you tell them that you forgive them. And I did that with so many people in that meditation, and it worked so well. It just feels so good to like let go of it, because like you're holding on to it for
It's
yourself.
tough, dude, but like being able to do that, I don't want to say it's not simple, but like if you're in that if you're feeling that emotion at the time, you know, if you're really into that, like it's hard to just be like, oh, okay, like forgiveness, right? It takes time. Like time is good for healing. Yeah. Things take time.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, that's why even like I have not actually, I did speak to Kaji. Spoke to him once. I think when my dad died, he messaged me.
Mm-hmm. Was this after
after like the whole falling out, like my dad passed away, like within like now and then. Mm-hmm. And he messaged me just like, he's like, if there's anything you need, blah blah blah. And I was like, bullshit.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
But like honestly, I forgive him already.
You really?
Yeah, I already forgive him. Like, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad. Like, I'm good now. If I died, then like I would have just been holding on to that. I'd rather not do that.
Wow.
You never know what could happen, right? You never know what could happen to him.
Wow, you're right, dude.
So it's like, why have those feelings towards somebody? So like I've already like forgiven that. Like we haven't had a chance to like see each other and like reconcile that at all.
Uh-huh.
Because we just haven't seen each other. I don't know. I think I have seen. I think he's seen me like running, and I think I've seen him like in the car or something.
And did he just pretend to not see you?
I don't know. I saw the car that was his car.
Yeah.
But like when I'm running, I'm just focused on running, right? So it might have been him, might not have been, but I'm sure like we'll see each other and we'll be able to reconcile that as well. I want to do that with everybody that I've had that kind of thing with.
Do you still? So there's still anybody you can think of that like you still kind of hold a grudge against, or like
No.
you still holding some sort of like
No.
really nothing like
No, even with my ex, like we hadn't talked in a while, but I did forgive her. I did ask her to apologize. I was like, apologize.
Why?
I'm like,
why do you need an apology? Like because forgiveness is not like you.
Because I was still pissed off. And I don't. The thing that I don't like is even the reason why I brought up our reconciliation is I don't like if I see you and you know that we've had like a thing, like let's talk that thing out and then let's move past it. But like don't act like it didn't happen. I don't like the like not acting like it didn't happen. I think the healing comes from the forgiving, because like for me to even like you have to at some point forgive enough to even interact with that person, right? There has to be some kind of forgiveness that's there, and then from there it's like the closure should be brought about, like with anybody, right? Like even with you, like I wouldn't just act like that didn't happen or anything. Like I think that's weird. I think that's weirder.
I feel like that's what I did though.
What?
I don't know, when I saw you I kind of like
yeah, because we just saw each other. I'm not gonna like it's not like an anime cartoon where we're gonna be all like weird about it. It's gonna be like and look at each other. I don't want to do that. Like, yeah, you hug first, we talk for a while, and then like you talk about the reconciliation.
It was good, and yeah, I felt like it was already like when we hugged it out at the gym. I felt that was like the reconciliation.
Yeah,
in that hug, and
exactly, because we both know what happened, but like you gotta talk a little bit about it. You have to have some kind of forgiveness take place, like between each other. Like I forgave you already before I saw you, but like when we see each other, something has to happen in order to establish it as well, I think, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just think it's healthy to do that. So yeah, but with anybody else, no, there's nobody. No, cheated on twice, and like how have you forgive both people? Yeah, I've had people wrong me, forgive them. Had people treat me badly. You know what? There is one person, I think that, yeah, there is one person.
Do you want to like talk about it a bit?
Well, you know what? It was a very weird situation. It was because of my ex, actually. It was one of her friends.
The one that I know?
Yeah. Okay. It was one of her friends, and like I was at a bus stop and she was randomly there with a bunch of people. Okay. And she just started calling me a nigger. Like repeatedly. Like, yeah, it was the weirdest thing ever. Because I didn't know her fully, and like she was mad at a level that didn't make any sense because we had never interacted. And yeah, she just kept calling. She's like, she called me a nigger and said she'll burn my house down if I ever get back together with my ex. And I was like, what the fuck? It's crazy. This chick Liza, it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. I was like, what the fuck?
Was she like a Russian?
I don't know.
Russian chick or something?
I don't know what she was. Like, really? She was just friends, like, and she just went off. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what does she think I did? I'm like, this is so weird. But even that didn't make me so mad. It just made me wonder what was told to her about me to get so mad. Because I'm like, we've never interacted for her to get this angry. So I wonder what was said, what was made up about me. So that was a weird thing to have happen. And that was like hard to forgive because I was like, what the fuck is even going on right now? Well, like right away, like we just kind of all got on the bus. We all got on the 88. And now I'm just sitting there. I'm like, why did this
after that happen?
Yeah, we were all on the bus. We were all at the bus stop, and then we all got on the bus. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what did I do?
Incredibly awkward.
I was trying to figure out what I did more so than like try to figure out how to forgive this person. I was like, what the fuck? So that's something that I think of, and I'm like, that's weird. That's a weird thing. But also, I think there's another thing. Yeah, I don't know. I got assaulted when I was a kid. Yeah. I got like physically assaulted when I was a kid by this Russian, actually a big Russian dude. He was a man. I was 8 years old. He was a man. I remember me and my friend were throwing a boot back and forth, and he got in the crossfire. It hit him, so he got really mad. He like kicked me in my back, and he like drugged me to my house. And I think my brothers kicked the shit out of him after, but still, like, that was a tough thing to forgive.
Like, dude, he really he hurt you.
Yeah, it was very weird. It was crazy. He was just like nuts. That happened when I was 8 years old.
And like, you couldn't like run away or get away from him.
I did try to run. That's why he hit me in my back to like get.
Like me. He hit you, like he punched you, or like he kicked.
No, he kicked. He kicked me in my back, and then and then grabbed me, and then like it was weird. That like.
Where was that at Max?
That was like down the street. That was like 8 houses away. He lived on the street at the time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he doesn't live there anymore. But yeah, that was a very odd thing. That was.
Wow, dude. And nothing. And like, obviously, like you said, your brothers beat him up.
I think they might have. I'm not even sure. Like after that, everything was just kind of like crazy. And then I think he got arrested and stuff like that. But yeah.
Wow.
That was a thing. So that guy I've never really forgave. I don't think about that too much. I don't think about it.
Like, what if that guy's dead? How do you feel now? How do you, like, let's say that guy's dead right now. And, like, would you feel like, could you let go of that?
Let go of it? Yeah, I think I've let go of it. That was actually part of the reason why, growing up, I was so quick to use weapons. Because after that experience, I was like, if anybody tries to do this again, I'm just going to kill them. Like, that was my mindset when I was growing up. I'm like, I'm going to kill the next person that tries to do anything to me. So that's why I usually used to have like knives and like crowbars and stuff. And I was like, I'm going to kill somebody.
Dude, like, and I used to hang around you and used to have weapons on you, really?
Yeah, all the time.
Wow.
But if he was dead right now, I don't anymore, obviously. I grow up and everything. But if he was dead, I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess I could let go of it. My honest first thought, if he's dead, I'd be like, good. That was my first thought. If you said that, I'd be like, good. Glad he's dead.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That was the first thought, 100%. My first thought wouldn't be like, oh, I could let that go now. Yeah, it was weird. It's very
interesting.
Weird.
Wow. Because if like someone's dead, I'll be like, true, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, somebody. I don't think I've ever.
Yeah,
something happened to me like that. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, that was an intense day or night. I was actually with Brandon.
What?
Yeah.
You were throwing the boot with him?
It was me and Brandon, yeah.
Wow.
Because we were like best friends at the time.
And like, were you the one who hit him with?
I threw it, yeah, because Brandon was like going long because we were using it like a football, right? So he like ran back and I threw it and he was like just like taking out his garbage. So then that happened. It's fucked. It's fucking wild.
That's fucked.
It's really wild. It's really wild. Oh shit. 30 minutes. They change every 30 minutes.
What just happened?
It just turns off every 30 minutes. I never actually have been asked that question before.
About what was the question again? I can't remember.
Like, is there anybody that you still hold a grudge with? But yeah, that would be the only person really. Nobody else has ever done anything to impact me enough.
Yo, your enlightenment lies in the forgiveness of fucking. He's the last guy.
He's definitely the last guy. It's very weird though, because he doesn't even come up like when I would take like psychedelics. That experience never even comes up. So I guess I've dealt with it in a way, but I'm sure there's something there. I'm sure if I got like hypnotized or something, I'm sure there's like something that somebody could do for me.
So like now that you mentioned psychedelics and like therapy, have you like, has that helped you like with dealing with like people that have like done, like, that you felt to have done you wrong or whatever? Like
Psychedelics?
Yeah.
I guess. Oh shit.
Was that off? Was
No,
the
it's
camera
like
off?
just turned off.
Okay.
Psychedelics. Yeah, they do help. They help in the
Help or
sense,
hinder? What do you think?
Man, I think they help. I think they help you just in life. Like after you're done doing psychedelics, you kind of feel like everything can be dealt with and everything's okay. Like, I mean, it all depends on the stages, right? Like a stage 5 mushroom trip, like you're completely like melding with the universe and you're melding, like everything's one. So it's like everything's forgiveness and everything's
Really?
yeah, like you're just completely like, if there's like enlightenment, quote unquote, like you're feeling it. Like there's glimpses of it while you're in that stage, like when you take a hero dose, you know. So yeah, it helps. Like afterwards, I guess you feel lighter after, because you're like everything's good. Like, you know, like I don't know, you have these weird epiphanies. It all depends, right? Like if you're focusing on a person, then yeah, definitely it's gonna help you get through that relationship with that person.
And dude, actually, now that I think about it, as much as I've done like mushrooms and like used it like to get over things, and like the thing, I think the drug that helped me the most was actually MDMA.
Yeah, that was a big one for me too.
I did it 2 times, and like
just 2 times.
2 times, and I banged like this older woman on both times, and it was the most therapeutic thing, dude. Like, it just, from there, like I was just on a new vibration after that. It just,
I could see that.
like,
I could see that. Yeah, the first time I did
it changed my life.
Yeah, first time I did it was actually bad.
Wow, what? Bad?
Well,
What?
it was bad in the sense of I did it for the first time. I didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
I did it with somebody.
Okay.
So picture this: you do it with somebody, and then it kicks in. So you're experiencing it for the first time, and then right away the guy's like, we're at his house doing it, like, and then all of a sudden he's like, it's kicking in for him too. He's like, okay, you gotta go. And I'm like, what? Because I'm like, I don't even know like what's gonna happen, how I'm gonna be. Like my heart rate is just like starting to kick up. I'm like, what the fuck? So I had to leave this place. And it wasn't like I was doing anything weird. I was just like sitting on the couch. But he's like, you gotta go, because he probably likes to jerk off or like play video games or listen to music or some shit.
Okay.
Something that I had to go. And then all of a sudden I'm by myself, and like now my heart rate's really kicked up, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know what's happening. Like, I don't know if this is normal. I don't know what this is, because I've never done it before.
Okay.
So I kind of just I called a friend, and they came because they've like experienced it, and they just kind of like were my sitter for a little while. But yeah, without them, I don't know what would have happened. I didn't know what was going on. I was tripping. It could have turned into a really bad trip if the person didn't come and like help me out. So it was bad in that sense. But once they came and like I told them what I was feeling, and they're like, oh, that's normal, then it became very, very good.
What were you feeling? What were you feeling like?
Like my heart rate just like accelerated. My palms were sweating. I was
But
like,
you weren't feeling like amazing, like euphoric and fucking in love with everything.
Well, I mean, picture this, right? Like you're about to get to that point, and then because it was winter, and then all of a sudden you're out in the cold at night.
Okay, that's right. He kicked you out.
And you're like,
wow,
oh, fuck.
Wow.
So it was like okay, like everything feels like dark and like weird, and I'm like, and like my heart's just going. I'm like, I don't know if this is good or not.
Wow.
But yeah, then the sitter came. They assured me everything was fine, and then everything became amazing. Yeah, and then I watched the movie 47 Ronin, which is like with like Keanu Reeves, I believe. And I was listening to a book called, I think it's called The Book of Four Winds. It's like a book like the Art of War. Okay. It's like one of those deep philosophical Japanese like philosopher types, like kind of book like that. Okay. And the book, like it was an audio book. The book was coinciding with the movie. Like the lessons in the book were coinciding with the movie perfectly. And I was tripping out. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how is this happening? Everything he was saying, like, was being displayed.
It's like the fucking the Wizard of Oz, Pink Floyd, fucking.
It was, yeah. That's great. And I was like, holy shit! I'm like, how is this happening? And I just literally laid in bed and just like watched that movie.
Without, you couldn't hear the movie or just listening. Like...
I was like half and half because I'm like really good at like I just had one headphone in and I was just listening and I was like, what the fuck? And like everything they were talking about and everything they were saying in the movie and the book, it was just all matching. And I was like, this is crazy. And I watched that movie and then I went into my washroom and I was like, everything makes sense. And like the light was all bright and like vivid. And I was like, this is amazing. And I was like, I'm going to do this again. And then I did it like 20 times after.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. 20 times.
I have a very addictive personality. That's why I stay away from this stuff now. Because like, I just get
it's dangerous, man. MDMA is like, it's a good thing, but like, I feel like that has the potential to really, like, really mess up your like serotonin and dopamine and like.
That's what I think happened. I think that's what happened because like afterwards, not directly after, but like I hit a very big bout of depression. But yeah, How often were you doing it? Do you remember? That was right around the time that I started working at Rogers. So I was like candy flipping or parachuting. So I would like take LSD and then I would take MDMA and then I would like go to work.
No. Yeah. No way. No way. Yeah, no way. Yeah. No way. I don't believe you. No way. No fucking way. Tell me right now a fucking story about that. About when you fucking did that.
I would just do it.
Like microdose? Like there's no way you took what do you mean? You're fucking like going to work on acid and Molly?
Yeah.
No
I
way. No way.
I would take a tab and a bunch of like,
no. How are you fucking?
It was weird.
What? Like it was your tolerance like that much that you could like control it?
Maybe I didn't have much dopamine turnover or serotonin to begin with, because it would just make me feel like super good. Like I would get high, but like I wouldn't get high to the point where I couldn't function. I would function just fine. But what happened actually when it came, like I didn't just start doing this and going into work at Rogers. I took a tab of acid and I was like, my commute was 3 hours because I had to go to Pickering. I was taking the bus. So I had to take the bus. I had to take the GO bus and then I had to take another bus. Like it was a whole commute. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take a tab of acid. And by the time I get to work, I'm gonna be fine.
Insane. You're fucking insane.
I'm gonna be good. It's gonna be done.
Wow. You're insane.
Because I didn't know how long it's supposed to last. So what ended up happening for anybody, it's longer than 3 hours. It's like 12. So when I would get on the bus. I got on the bus and everything, and by the time I got to work, I was like peaking. I was like, oh shit. I'm like, this is. And then I Googled it, and I'm like, oh. I remember I asked somebody at work, I'm like, you ever done acid? And he's like, yeah, man. And he's like, it's like 12 hours sometimes. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, so it's going to be like the whole shift of work. And I was fine. Like, I was just like, because we were, like I told you, we were in school. We were doing training. We were just doing tests and stuff. So it wasn't anything like crazy. I was interacting with people who were my age anyway. And
you're never like, yo, are these guys going to notice that like I'm fucking.
I saw a girl. And I was like, she'll understand. When I saw her, I was like, I can be around this person. So I sat next to her. I remember telling her, she's like, she's like, you tripping out? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, she's like, don't worry, I'm here. And like, she just like chilled. She just kind of like, got me through it.
Wow.
But I was fine. She's like, you seem fine. I'm like, yeah. She's like, good.
Like, what were you going through? Like, what were you experiencing at that time when you were tripping at work?
Nothing crazy.
What? Like fucking nothing? Really?
Nothing crazy. Like
something? Fucking.
No. That's the thing. I don't get major like pattern hallucinations and stuff when I do stuff.
Really?
No. Maybe closed eye stuff, but like never eyes open. Like maybe some things will be more vivid, but other than that.
Wow.
And you know what I would do?
What?
Because after that day I did it. I was vegan at this time too, so I was like all like spiritual. I was listening to Steve Jobs and his commencement speech and like snippets of it, and I kept listening to him talk about like following your heart and like one day you're gonna die, so you got to do the thing that makes the most sense. And I think because I was taking that so much, I like understood it on a deep level. I took it in on a deeper level because I really started diving deep into like what I wanted to do with myself. And I would do it like every day on the way to work. I'd be on acid. I'd listen to Steve Jobs, and I would get off the bus, and there was like a ravine, like a river, and I would sit by the river, and I would just like watch it for like 30 minutes. Like I'd make sure to go super early, and I'd just sit at the river and watch it and listen to him talk about that, and like think about like what I actually want to do, and like if this is like the road I want to take, and like how am I going to get out of this like survival job mentality that I have. And I would just sit there and think about it and think about it and think about it. And then I'd go to work, and then I'd kill it because I'd like just doing tests. It was fine. Like, nobody really knew. And I'd literally go to work, sit under a tree, and like eat this big vegan salad, and like that was it. Everybody just thought like he's just a vegan. He's a vegan guy who like smokes weed. Nobody thought like I was on acid, obviously. And it's not that crazy because now you hear Silicon Valley people do that shit all the fucking time now, right?
Really? On acid? That's
like
funny.
Microdose and shit.
I've met a guy on the trip. He was like in the Canadian Army or something, but yeah, on the birthright trip, he was telling me about microdosing acid and like, but still, he seemed like a little bit like off.
Yeah,
he seemed off. Like acid, like I feel like with mushrooms you can just like maybe actually no, I was gonna say you can just do mushrooms. It won't really fuck you up. Like acid, it's like a chemical, like a synthetic. Mushrooms is like a natural. But, like, I guess too much of anything.
Yeah, too much of anything. I mean, what I learned from that is, like, I got to, like, follow my heart. And just as – it was actually a very weird experience because I did all that. And just as I was finished doing it, my dad got cancer. Like, just as I was, like, finishing the training and starting to work on the actual floor, like, and actually got the job, my dad got cancer. And it just threw me into this like crazy depression because like I had never got to reconcile with him of why he was gone for so long and shit. And like I was like, he's gonna die, and I was really fucked up. So that was the reason that I actually left that job, because I was like, I don't want to go to work or anything. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like my dad's like dying. I was like, this is all too much for me right now. And it was like a really fucked up time in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, it was weird. It's a really weird time, man. It was actually a really odd time. And I went through that.
Dude, that sounds like that was like, I think it's called like the dark night of the soul or something like that. Everybody goes through that fucking.
They do talk about that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that might have been it. Yeah, that might have been it. And I remember I was like, fuck, if this guy dies. And then I went to go see him because like he was like nearby, like the hospital. And yeah, it was the first time I ever saw my parents in the same room. I was like, wow, look at that. These guys are in the same room. I'd never seen them in the same room before.
Wow. And was that therapeutic for you just to see them together?
Yeah, like, it was weird. It was definitely weird. It's
weird. It's just strange.
Something you've never seen before, right? You're just like, that's
really, you never like.
Not that I can remember. No,
wow.
Because they like divorced or like stopped being together by the time I was like 2 or 3 or maybe even like around 2. So I never saw them together like that. And then like I saw him, and then like it was just a real like mortality check, like because like I look like him, right? So it's like this older version of me, like in the hospital bed, you know. So it's like fuck. I'm like, man. And I was just listening to Steve Jobs talk about like, you know, like he always would say the quote of if today were the last day of your life, you know, would you want to be doing what you're about to do today?
Yeah.
Right. And like for me it was no at that time.
Wow.
So I was like, fuck. I'm like, what do I do? And I just went into this deep depression. I wanted to do more acid and stuff, only as like an escape. Like I wasn't using it therapeutically anymore. I just wanted to escape and shit. So it got really bad, got really dark. I couldn't support myself. I couldn't support myself at all. I couldn't do anything, man. It was really bad. It was a really, really bad time. Dark night of the soul. Yeah, perhaps. I think that might have been it, because that was a dark time. Like it was a light time, but it was also a very dark time, because it was like,
a light time because of like the drugs. Well,
because I was doing that, and like everything was very light, and then all of a sudden it was like She's like, my dad's like gonna die.
Wow.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I'd never been confronted with that, right? Like both my parents are around, and I've never met any of my grandparents, so like I have no death that I've dealt with in family before. So I was like, holy fuck. And then to have the first death you deal with be your dad, and I was like, fuck, this is crazy.
We're all gonna die, man.
Yeah, exactly. And that put that all into check. And after that, I don't even know what I did. I don't even know what I did at that point. But yeah, things got really, really dark. I probably went to see Johnson. That's usually what I would do if I was feeling dark and down. I'd see Johnson.
Yo, but what do you think death is? What do you think happens?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Man, I was talking to an energy healer when I was producing that other podcast. Because after my dad died, my siblings and I had to pay for his funeral. And I didn't even have any money. I think my sister had to pay for it because we couldn't find any will or anything. And like the government just doesn't give a fuck. They're like, somebody's paying for something. Like,
wow, what?
Yeah, so she had to pay out of her pocket. And I remember I was like, you haven't done anything for me. I remember I was talking to him.
Wait, talking to who?
Like my dad, because after he died, because a couple years later, he actually did pass away. At first he was just sick. They removed some tumors, but they came back. He didn't tell me. So I didn't know how sick he was. And then like my sister just like phoned me one day and she was like, dad died. And I was like, fuck.
Wow.
I remember I was out to dinner with my girlfriend too. I was like, holy fuck. And it was just as I was like getting things on track. So again, it was like a very light time, and then all of a sudden it's like, shit, he actually dead this time. And
wow.
Yeah, I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, it was a very dark time. That's all I can think of. Oh,
what is death? We're talking about death.
Yeah. I actually asked him. I'm like, yo, you haven't done anything for me. I'm like, I need your help. Like, I need help to figure this shit out. I'm like, fucking need help, man. Like, fuck, help me. Stop fucking.
While he was still alive?
No, he's dead.
Oh, he was dead, and you were just like
fucking
okay,
help me. Like, do something.
Wow.
For me.
Wow.
I was like, the fuck. And from there, I got into video. From there, I had like a mushroom experience with Johnson, and I realized that I had to do video. Something just told me like pursue video, and then I just started that. And years later, when I'm producing this podcast that I'm talking about, because after I learned to do all this shit, me and my buddy's about to interview this energy healer. She's like, there's an entity that's like beside you that's making sure everything works out when you record. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh fuck. Because like I told you, all this shit happened like 2018. All this stuff that started clicking. Like I wanted to move out. I didn't have the means for it, but like all of a sudden like somebody did. And like all of a sudden that came to be. Like everything that I wanted all of a sudden like became physical. It was fucking weird. And then all of a sudden the energy healer said that. She's like, something's beside you, like when you record, making sure everything works out. And I was like, what the fuck? So that was like a fucking huge trip for me. Because right away I thought of him. I was like, for sure. I'm like, well, like I asked for help, and like now there's like something helping me. And like I don't know what it is. So to the question, what is death? I don't know. Maybe you like just maybe you transfer, or maybe you're still around. Because I felt like he's still around. Like I feel like that. Because I think all of his kids were in a position where we still needed him. Except for maybe my oldest sister. She's pretty good head on her shoulders, but like for the rest of us, it seemed like we still needed him around. He was like my brother's best friend. My sister really loved him. I needed him around. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe you have the option to stay around, maybe you transition into someone else, something else. But I think there is an energy in us, and I think that energy doesn't just fade away.
No, it can't. No.
Yeah.
It's the constant thing.
Yeah, right? I think it like just goes elsewhere and does something else. So I don't, like the physical dies off, because like it's like, what's death? It's like your physical body stops working, right? But like we don't actually know what happens to the energy.
We're not our physical bodies either, you know?
Exactly. So I don't think it stops at death, honestly. I think we go on in some way.
Yeah, death, the unknown. the unknown thing. Like, I feel like people look at death as like a negative, you know what I mean?
Of course.
But like, what if death is actually like
The shit.
Can you fucking like, dude, like the shit, like better than life. And we're like, here, fuck, man, that guy died. Like, you know, dude, he's the shit. He's in the shit. Like, he's in the shit now. You guys fucking, this is shit.
Yeah.
And that's the shit.
Yeah.
And we don't, because we don't even know.
Yeah,
like, what if, because, like, dude, death is like, we look at it like this dark, like, yo, it's so sad life. But, like, yo, what if that's, like, the place to be?
Yeah, what if it's, like, life part 2? It's, like, just higher. Like, what if you actually just go to a higher realm? Like, what if you're just, like, in the 4th dimension now? Or 5th? And you're, like, just existing there.
And, like, you know, dude, if you look at life, it gets better. If you look back, like, I can tell you, I'm just looking around, you're like life is better. Like, gets greater later. You know what I mean?
True.
So it gets greater later, dude. So, dude, when it's just like, it just keeps getting better and better. And maybe that's like, maybe we're on this ride and it's just like, we're on this fucking awesome ride and it just gets better and better. And it's like,
could be.
Because how, like, dude, life is a beautiful thing, and like how, and like death is like a necessary. There's a reason for everything.
Yeah, of course.
And there's a reason that we die, and we look at it like this, like, sad thing, but there's a reason for it. It's a natural thing, and everything in nature has its place.
Definitely. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, everything in nature has its place. Like, a tree dies, and then all of a sudden, like, if you could actually track that tree and, like, watch it for, like, decades after, it grows into, like, part of the forest. It, like, sprouts out new things, bushes and trees and this and that and mushrooms and all this shit. So it's like, it was necessary for it to happen. And then when you look at the whole forest, it's like, how many things had to die in order for that forest to grow? And it's like, who knows, right? I don't know. But yeah, it could be a great thing. It could be like the next birth. Like this, like our first birth, you come in like screaming, and then like maybe this is like the second one, like you just go like that, and then all of a sudden it's like, all of a sudden you have like a spiritual birth.
I don't like the idea of reincarnation. I don't want to come back here. Fuck that. I don't want to come back. It's like, you know, we had this.
You don't want to come back here?
No.
You don't want to.
You want to come back? I'm good. Like, I'm good. After this, like, I'm good. Whatever. I did my thing here. I want to see what else there's for sure. Like, this is just, everything is just has like another level to it. Like, when you look at a picture, like in the newspaper or whatever, you see it from one view and it looks a certain way, but if you zoom up, you see like the smaller, the finer, like the blots of ink that make up the larger picture. And it's all just like perspective. And like, I want to change my perspective and see the fucking the bigger thing.
Yeah, right. Oh, it's so, even as you're saying that though, as you're saying that, like thinking of dying, I'm like, no.
Really? That's a part of you. That's your ego. Maybe that's like holding on, like to
like,
survive. It wants to survive, you know?
Yeah, because it's like, what does happen? Like, you take the last breath and then like you close your eyes and it's like, oh fuck, it's the last time. Holy shit.
Can you imagine?
They say Steve Jobs' last words were, oh wow. Yeah. That's what they say. They say those
no
were his last
way.
words. Yeah.
Like, that's kind of creepy.
Like, as he was
weird.
leaving this plane, he was like, oh wow. Like, maybe he was like fucking seeing some shit, like experiencing it.
Who knows, dude?
It's fucked.
That's an exciting. It's kind of it's scary. It's like nobody really thinks about. Nobody wants to think about death. We feel like we're just gonna live forever.
Yeah, because like, even as you were saying it, I'm like thinking about like, yo, one day this guy's gonna be dead. Like, in like we're gonna be like, what, 80, maybe more, maybe less, and then all of a sudden it's like you're shutting down, and then it's like,
and not even shit. Dude. And you know what the craziest thing is, dude? Like, dude, we both know people that died, that passed away. Like,
yeah,
dude, you never know when you're fucking when your time's up. You know what I mean? Any fucking day. Like you can just fucking isn't that insane? And like we really don't think it'll happen to us, but like you really like, can't we plan, fucking.
Like we're planning. Like
so, is there a point to plan, dude? Like, what's the point?
Right? Because like, what if the thing doesn't happen? You got to plan something out. You got to know what you're gonna do next.
It almost
because then you have to live, right? Because you don't want to like if you just stop planning, like you're not gonna live. But like as you set goals and instill purpose in yourself, you're gonna like live a very full life. You're gonna like go after things that bring you fulfillment. Hopefully you're gonna go after things that bring you fulfillment, bring you joy, bring other people joy, if possible. And if you stop planning and stop having a sense of purpose, then all that stops. And then it's like you're not even living at that point. Now you're just like existing. You know?
I feel like, you know, man, like I feel like that's kind of where I am right now and where I've been, just like kind of like existing. And like, but it's a weird place to be in, because like before I had like this drive like to do music and like but then when it became just like I just didn't know what to do, like I don't know, and like maybe that was just something I never really was like that's just something I enjoyed, but maybe looking back now, maybe I did it for the wrong reasons. Like, I don't know. I like to make music and I do it. But like even I like to work out more now. Like that's something I enjoy even more, staying active and now that I think about it, like making people laugh is something that brings me more pleasure than making music. Like,
and you've been more successful at it. Think about it. Like I think about that all the time when it comes to making people laugh. I'm like, I can do that all day. I could leave right now and find a group of people and make one of them laugh easy. I even do that when I meet people. I'm like, I'm gonna make this guy laugh. I'm gonna do something that's gonna make this guy laugh easy. Like, and I always do it. Like, there's never a time where it doesn't happen. I've never been around somebody and like not been able to make them laugh once. I think my girlfriend's dad, I couldn't make him laugh.
Really?
Last time I was around him.
He doesn't have a sense of humor then, I guess, that guy.
No, he's like my brother. My oldest brother's like that too.
Chris?
No, I have an older one, Jason. It's hard to make him laugh. He's like the hardest person to make laugh that I've encountered in my life.
Like, has he never laughed? Like, have you never seen him fucking laugh? No, he does.
He's funny. He'll laugh at like his own shit, but like it's hard for me to make him laugh. But no, I've if I do like something dumb, he'll laugh at me. He'll be like, "What are you doing, you moron?" That kind of thing. But like, it's hard to like make him laugh out loud. But yeah, right. Like making people laugh is like a great thing.
That is, man. Just like being able to.
I think you should do it. I think.
Where do you start? You know.
I think this is what you do. Okay. Because I always have vision. Like I've learned that's actually my talent is intuition and vision. And anytime I get focused on something, I can like see where it's supposed to go.
Okay.
What you should do is, do you have a phone?
Not at the moment.
Everybody's supposed to say yes when you ask if they have a phone. Everybody.
I have an iPod. I have an iPod Touch with Wi-Fi access.
True. Okay. Can it record?
Yeah. It can record.
What you do is, and you're going to move to Calgary?
Yes.
Okay. And there's people in Calgary, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's comedians there, right?
I'm sure, yeah. Sure.
All right. And you want to make people laugh.
Yes, I do.
You start a podcast, right? And you sit down with comedians and you talk to them about how to become a comedian. And also talk about, and anybody that you can get in front of, and talk to people about life. Because through doing this with you, I can see that you have a good perspective on life because you've lived a lot. That's like the thing that I had the most of. It was like I wasn't super good at like anything, but like I had lived so much. And I was like, how do I even put that into anything? And a good thing to put it into is comedy. So if I were you,
that's a great idea.
Yeah, I would try to talk to people who are like big on like philosophy or just life in general, and sit down and have conversations with them because you're actually good at this. Like you're actually much better than I thought you'd be. I thought this would be retarded. I really did. I thought this was gonna be. I thought this was gonna be nuts, but you've actually pulled so much out of me that like not many people can. So you have something there where you're able to do that. Obviously, you know me, but like if you can do it with anybody, you can do it with more than one person. You should do that. People who are about philosophy, life, people who are about comedy, because those are the people who you gel with the most. Anybody who's like very philosophical or lived a long, interesting life, you get very intrigued, and you get very like you focus in when somebody's talking to you. And if somebody's talking to you about a very interesting story, you're gonna focus in, and you're gonna ask really cool questions. And then same thing with comedy, and you love to laugh, so talking with comedians would just be great. Talk with comedians, talk with people about philosophy, like anybody, or like psychology. And I think if you do that, that will change your whole life. And you should do that, definitely. I'm like 100% on this. If you have a phone that records, because that's all you need.
Really, it's like I feel like I need this. Like I can't.
You'll be like me with the GoPro knockoff. Like when I started vlogging, I literally used to watch Vice documentaries, and I'd look at the credits and I'd be like, yo, I need 30 people on staff before I can even make anything. And it's just not true.
That's not like the starting point.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the starting point. Like you can get to that, but like even I'm even thinking of shooting a documentary out of the podcast that I make, and I don't fucking need anybody to do it. I have the interviews. The only people I need are the people I sit down and talk with. But like I'm gonna edit this shit. I'm gonna sit down and do my own fucking talking head video where I talk about some shit. I'm gonna piece it together and I'm gonna make a documentary. It's simple. You don't need 30 people to do it. You just need a topic, and you need to drive to accomplish it. But I think if you do that, sit your phone down in between two people, between you and somebody else, put it on record, you'll get both voices very clearer than you think you would. And and that'll be your podcast. Literally get an iPhone if you have a choice, right?
I don't know if I'm down to drop like $6 bills. You know me. I'm not like
What do you mean?
like
I just said it'll change your life.
Like why can't I just get like a song like a $200 Samsung? Why are you trying to push the Apple brand on me, you know? Like what is this? You with your fucking iPhone.
I just feel like it's a better phone. Say some stuff. Say, hey, what's going on? Talk.
Hey, what's going on? Are you recording it on the thing? Hey, what's going on?
Okay, let's see how that recorded.
Okay, but what iPhone? Is this the latest iPhone right here that you have?
It doesn't matter. They're all the same.
Of course it matters. Of course it matters.
They're all
of course
the same
it matters.
phone.
No, but they have different. I'm sure they have different microphone, different fucking.
I don't remember what was wrong with my iPhone 5, but I'll give it to you.
No way.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Done. That's a podcast.
Really? That's good enough? Wow, that's clear.
Right?
That's clear.
If
wow.
I can put this in between you and somebody else, you're fucking done with it. You press stop.
Why are you trying to push the
Shut up. You go there. You go, yeah, you're done. You go to share. Look at that. And then you can just share it wherever. Look, I have Anchor. Anchor is a podcasting app. You press on there. I've never even done this before. Here, I'm going to turn on my internet. I turned it off. I was on airplane mode. Retry. There you go. It's going to do it. Now it's uploading. This is for anybody else, too. You understand how fucking easy this is? We just recorded something. You put it on. You press share. You go to your fucking Anchor app. Anchor gets you pre-approved for 8 different platforms. So you'll be on iTunes. You'll be on Spotify. You'll be on this thing.
For free?
Yeah.
What? Really?
Like, I'm not paying for this. Are you sick? Add episode. Add recording to episode. Okay, add recording. I just pressed it. I've never used this app before. I just had it because I know it's a good idea to have. So now it's on the library. Yeah, I think that's it. Now it's in the library. That's it, man. Done. Even still, even better, you don't even have to go to that thing. You just go to record. Wants access to your microphone. So let's just talk about this now. Say stuff.
All right, man. All right, man. All right, man.
Yeah, that's your podcast voice. Stop. Save. You even asked me to add background music just now. What's this segment called? Fill. Return. Add recording to episode. I don't even know what that means. Now there's another episode up. Done.
And that's it. People
That's
can
it.
fucking see your podcast,
Yeah.
huh?
You don't have to do anything. Just call it Phil's Podcast. Done. That's it. And just talk to people about comedy and philosophy and like
Dude.
life. Because that's the thing that you want to know about the most. Right now, you just said you're at a point where you're just existing, and you want to know how to get past that point of just existing and actually living a fulfilling life where you're actually doing things and happy. Done. Talk to people about that. Who can you get in front of? You're already working with like kids and shit, right?
Yeah.
So you can easily get access to like the education system. You easily get access. Yeah, man.
What are you talking about?
Of course you can.
What do you mean? Why would I need access for the education? Like, what are you talking
Because you
about?
can go talk to somebody who's like works at a high school who's in the philosophy departments or fucking.
Oh, like not just comedians, like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
fucking
Talk
people in
to a
general.
fucking teacher who fucking teaches philosophy, and just talk to him about life, and be like,
Yo,
I'm
you think
trying-
they'd be down? Like,
Yeah, of
why the
course.
fuck? Like, people are busy, dude. Like,
Bro, you never read the 48 Laws of Power?
I've skimmed through it.
Everybody likes to be a master. Everybody likes to be an authority.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can
If
see
you go
that.
to anybody and you're like, hey man, you're like the best person I've ever seen doing this. I was just wondering if I could ask you a few questions for my podcast.
Of course,
They're gonna
of
be
course.
Like, what? Yeah. I've been thinking about doing this for months. How do you think I get my guests? I go on. Oh, and that's another thing. You get an app called Shaper.
Okay.
All right, it's an app. Where the fuck is it? You go and get Shaper. Shaper is like Tinder for like business people. It is.
What?
So look, you see my profile, right?
Okay.
It says podcast producer, host of Process.
Okay.
Has my picture. Every 24 hours, it gives me a bunch of matches. I swipe on all of them.
Okay.
I swipe.
Okay.
My profile, if you read my profile, it says, please read. My podcast is about people who take their passion and in life and made it work for them with the right mindset and habits. They achieve their vision of success. Want to be on it? Do not swipe if you don't want to be on. Please, thank you. Done. Every single person who swipes on me is a potential guest because they're like, right away, they're like, what's the process? And like, how do I be on? So
Whoa,
I
that's
do,
sick.
So I'll do Zooms. Like I'll do Zoom calls with people because a lot of people are like in the States and stuff. Do a Zoom call with somebody. If they're in Toronto, I'll try and get them over here. If they're in Markham, they're definitely coming here. And that's it. And I just keep interviewing people over and over again. And I know for me, I want to talk to behavioral scientists. I want to talk to habit experts. I want to talk to life coaches. I want to talk to success coaches. Mindset coaches. I want to talk to psychotherapists. I know that those are the people I want. I want to talk to people like you who are like just like interested in life. I want to talk to people who are interested in philosophy. And now I'm just going to talk to all those people. That's how you do it. That's the process. You see that? That's the process. That's it. Done. That's all you have to do. I think if you actually...
I hate that. I'm an introvert. I hate the idea of that. I'm an introvert, and I'm like, man, I don't want to go out and fucking talk to people.
You should.
I hate that idea.
Do it.
Do
it. There's nothing bad that will come of you talking to people. Only good will come of you talking to people. And it's so hard to ration out what you're supposed to do with your life when you're only using the person who doesn't know what to do with their life as your soundboard, which is yourself. It's so hard. I've done it for so long because I like constantly talk to myself. Like as soon as you like leave, I'm gonna start talking to myself because I just do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I talk to myself all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? All day?
All day.
Like what's really? Dude, your mind doesn't just like...
I just have conversations with myself.
Like back and forth? Like,
Yeah. It's weird.
Wow.
Maybe I'm crazy.
No. Wow.
Maybe I'm a genius.
We're all crazy.
Maybe I'm a genius.
We're all crazy.
But it's actually helped me tremendously. That's why like I have such a good vocabulary. That's why I can speak so well because I'm constantly speaking. Like I do it all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm like the opposite. I'm just fucking, my mind's just fucking, I'm just going, just
Let
like,
it.
remember, dude, what was it? Hold on. How did, do, what was that thing? You, oh, Phil,
I said that's like what's going on in your mind or something.
Yeah, and it still does to this day.
Man, you do that because that will help you grow in terms of speaking. Because you're gonna become a better speaker. You already you fucking work with kids. You have to go and see people all the time.
I do.
Who cares?
But I love kids. I love being around kids.
Really?
Yeah, dude, and I love fucking just like teaching them and like. It's the best. It's so rewarding for me. Just, I feel like not only do I like teach them skating, but I give them a piece of me. Like they get like a piece of Phil for the rest of their life. And I know they do because like I remember people from like the recreation center, like even when I was a kid, you know? So like I know that I'm having like an impact on these kids in one way or another. And like hopefully like they get a piece of Phil that like.
True. That is true. They do remember forever. Like I was in the Big Brother program. Like I had a big brother when I was growing up, and like
you remember him,
of course. Like, he's like the most impact in my life. Like crazy. That's why I want to be one. Like definitely.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. Even when I have kids and shit, I'm gonna still try and be a big brother. Have to be.
And actually, it's funny you mentioned that. Like right now, like my friend who I work with, Dylan, he's blind, and it's amazing because I feel like I'm his big brother, dude. And like, yeah, dude. And like, literally, we just like go to my house and like I blaze and we make beats and like.
Oh, true.
I just feel like his older brother and his family is just so cool and like.
True.
It's just amazing. It's just such, and again, it's so rewarding just to like have a positive impact. And like, he loves me and like, I know I've changed his life. Like.
Yeah,
and he's changed my, like, I can't even tell you, he's changed my perspective on things.
And that's why I say to go and talk to people, because like somebody else will help mold another part of your life and another part. And, you know what I mean? Like eventually you'll meet somebody that's older, and then all of a sudden you're going to be Dylan and they're going to be the Phil, and they're going to all of a sudden change your life in like a deep way. And it's there's so much to be gained from doing podcasts. People don't even realize it. Like, there's just so much. Like, everybody...
Because I think, what's the purpose of doing a pod? Like, what's the point of a podcast?
That's the thing. Like, you don't have to do it with a point. Like, all I've seen from this conversation is that you feel like you're existing. So that means that you need more fulfillment.
More purpose. More of a purpose.
Yeah, you need more purpose. A podcast will help you find it. It won't bring it, but it'll help you find it because you'll be talking to people all the time. Like, it's so important to talk to people, have engaging conversations, and like really like get into them, you know? Like, how often do you do that? Like, as an introverted person, you're not going to do that a lot. And it's like, it's the thing that like, it just, I don't know, man. You're just adding to the salad of life. Every time you fucking talk to somebody, they add their little piece. They say, yeah.
You're right, dude.
Yeah.
You're right. But I feel like you can't just like, I feel you have to have like some, maybe like a connection, or like I can't just like talk to like anybody, even you can,
of course,
like really, yeah,
but why not?
Because like I don't know, I'm not the type of person that likes to prepare. I like to just like go with the flow. So you know what I mean?
That's how you'll do it.
But like some people, I don't know. Maybe some people like I won't like vibe. Like you don't vibe with everyone. Like
so what? Just like, I don't know. Anytime when it comes to like interviewing somebody or sitting down and talking with somebody, you just have to be inquisitive about what they do. So like, it's not even about jiving, because like eventually you're going to find the thing that you want to extract from them, that you want to know about. Right. So if it's like, I'm talking, like if you talk to a comedian, what would you ask them about?
Like, I guess, what are some tips you could give for like a comedian starting out that wants to like just from rock bottom, like get his foot in the door or whatever?
What else?
I don't know, just like advice. I don't know, but like at the same time, like at the same time, like I feel like that's like kind of like, I don't know, I just would rather than that, actually, now that I think about that, rather than that, I would just want to talk to them like a person. Instead of being like, yo, let me pick your brain, let me fucking.
There you go.
Because I'm just like a genuine. I just would rather.
Yeah, you do
talk to him like, hey, what's up?
Like what we're doing now. Because that's how your thing would flow if you like sat down and talked with somebody and just do that. Done.
But then I have to establish like that vibe or like, you know.
No, you don't. I mean, you could if you really want to. Like, you don't have to have a relationship with somebody. Just like fucking go to Calgary, go to a comedy club. After the guys are done performing, they walk to the bar. It's fucking how they do it in every single comedy club in the world. He's gonna be on stage. He's gonna walk to the bar. You fucking go up to him and say, "Yo, man, can I talk to you?" And that's it.
Comedians are dicks, dude. Honestly, I feel like I've came up to a few of them and like
you haven't gone up to them with a purpose. You got to go up to them with a purpose.
Wow. You're right.
Right?
You're right.
Like, imagine if someone came in here right now and they were just like, "Hey," I'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here. What are you doing?" But imagine somebody came down here and they're like, "Hey guys, I heard what you were talking about and I have a valuable piece of information for you guys." I'd be like, "Oh, okay." Right? Like, you have to have a purpose while you're talking to somebody. And also, like, I just asked you what you'd ask a comedian and you're like, I don't know, like tip, like advice. And then I asked you again and then I asked you again. You're like, actually, if you ask yourself that question 100 more times, you're going to have such a well-crafted thing that you're going to want to talk to them about. Because that was just the first 3 times that somebody's asked you. Think about, like, after you think about this with yourself, like, eventually you're going to be like, okay, I know exactly what I want to know from a comedian. And then eventually you're going to go on stage and then you're going to be like, okay, now I really know what I want to fucking know about.
Yeah.
Because I made a bunch of people laugh, but then they didn't laugh. And then somebody heckled me and I want to know how to not have that. Like, you're going to build, you know? Like, even what I'm doing right now, like, this is not fucking, I've done like 60 interviews and I've overseen like 40. So I've I've been a part of like 100 different interviews. So it's easy for me to talk to you like this. Like, it's not just because I know you. It's like I can do this with anybody now.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Anyone? It doesn't matter.
I do it all the time. I got some fucking guy fucking on the 5th fucking coming. I don't even know. His name's Eric. Never even met him before. I'm gonna do a Zoom. I'm gonna talk to another guy. He's like a master coach. His name's Jens.
A master coach. What is a master coach?
He's like a life coach.
Okay.
He like does like corporate coaching and like training for people.
Okay.
And he's probably gonna come here late January. I don't know who this guy is. He's gonna sit down. We're gonna talk. I have no idea who he is. Like, I've never met him before. We're gonna shake hands for the first time, and I'm gonna just be like, I'm gonna talk to him for 10 minutes on the couch, and then I'm gonna bring him over here, and we're gonna fucking talk for 2 hours. It's just 2 hours. Think about your whole life. Like, you can talk to somebody for an hour. You can bang it out.
Just if like I feel there has to be like, again, like something that you could, like, you can't just talk to anybody. Like, I don't know. Can you just fucking on the spot just talk to any random person?
Well,
no,
what do you want to
couldn't
know?
for 2 hours. Like,
Yeah, I could.
well, like, not just any random, like, you know.
You have to think about what you want to know. You can't just go and talk. No, can you just walk up to somebody and be like, trees, broadcast, weather? Can you know? You can't just say words for 2 hours. But can you walk up to somebody and be like for you, like if I was in your position, could you just walk up to somebody and be like, okay, I don't feel fulfilled. What makes you feel fulfilled? It's simple. They're going to talk to you about some shit, and then you're going to say some shit back, and that's how that works. I think you should do it. I think it'd do nothing but good for you. I think it would get you in front of a lot of people, and it's better to live outside your comfort zone than to just like, you know, like live outside your comfort zone. It's so much better outside your comfort zone to just be uncomfortable. If you could just every week be very uncomfortable having a conversation with somebody, like within 5 weeks, you wouldn't even imagine how much you'd change. Like right away, everything would change. The way you interact with people would change. Everything. I interact with people so different now.
Really?
That I could do a podcast. Yeah, like right away.
Could you just go up to anybody in the street and just start talking to them now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. If I had, yeah, of course.
Like if we just went right now, fucking down to fucking Max Pop, I'd be like, yo, Colin, talk to her.
Yeah.
Talk to that guy.
Yeah.
Go say something.
Yeah, of course. Why couldn't you?
I wouldn't like. That's weird.
Bro,
That's weird.
You gotta
It takes.
You gotta break out of the matrix.
I'm a
bro.
Taurus, dude. I'm a very slow and meticulous. Like, I take my
It
time.
doesn't matter. You gotta.
I take my time.
The matrix is you gotta break out of it. To break out of the matrix, you know. And it's funny because like when you say that, like I do that all the time. Like if I'm at like a restaurant or anything, like I'll talk to like the waiter or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
I don't want to talk to people.
And then you'll see like they'll be like they kind of like get like glitched out. It's kind of like wait what? Huh? What? I remember like I was talking like I saw this waiter and he's like wearing bracelets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, you got bracelets on, so you'll understand this. And I asked him a question. He was just like, wait a second. It was like he woke up for a second. He was like in that whole like, it was like he was in robot mode, just working his job. And all of a sudden, somebody asked him something like a person, and all of a sudden he was just like, oh yeah, I'm a person. Hey, yeah. And then all of a sudden he started talking to us. Like, you can do that with anybody.
So you're saying you treat them? Do you look at them differently? Do you see people differently now? Like, do you see like?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Like when you walk down the street, it's almost like in the Matrix. Like they're just this like fucking like 3D thing walking by you. Like you're not a fucking human like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. But
it's
like
weird.
But like think of that same person and then know that like they've suffered loss. They've definitely like encountered bad things. They've had bad things happen to them more than likely. They've had to deal with things that maybe you couldn't even imagine.
Wow.
Like everybody has like a tremendous amount to offer. Like there's nobody who doesn't have like a lot to offer. Like if you just stopped and talked to anybody,
really,
you'd be like, holy fuck.
You think so, dude? You think
100%. If you made it a habit to like try and talk to like one person a day, try to have one meaningful conversation with somebody a day, it would fucking
like just some random person.
Yeah.
Just walk up to them.
Yeah, it would blow your mind because everybody's people.
Yo, but I feel people would be kind of freaked out. Like, you know what I
Some
mean?
people
Just
would.
walking up to someone and they'll be like, yo,
Some
who's
people
this
would.
fucking like
Some
a bit like,
people-
you know what I mean?
Some
I'm
people
not-
would.
kind of
Yeah, 'cause you're
intimidating.
jacked now. Yeah, fuck out of here.
I'm
But-
an intimidating guy.
But some people would. But do you know how many people would love it? You know how many people are like starving for that kind of interaction because they just don't
You think
get it?
so, dude? Really? You
Yeah,
think
people don't like.
I feel people
I
are
don't
closed
think
off.
People are closed off, and they don't. I think there's a lot of people that don't like being like that. I think there's a lot of people that don't enjoy just walking by each other like they don't exist. I think there's a lot of people who don't enjoy that. I think there's a lot of people who are like starving to have somebody talk to them like they're real. Why do you think podcasts?
Wow.
For sure. Why do you think podcasts have taken off so much?
Because
You're listening to two people like actually be real and like talk with each other, and it's like we don't get that. Like we don't get that at all.
wow.
You know, it's I don't know. It's really important to do. You should. I'm telling you, you should do it because you're good at it. Like I can tell you're good at it. You got me to say a bunch of shit that I didn't plan on saying to you at all.
And I didn't even like plan for you. Like, you know, we're just talking in the moment.
Yeah. Like you should, because you take more. I don't know why I can't think of the word. You're engaged.
Very much so. Yeah.
When somebody's
Always.
talking to you. So like it's the number one thing. It's the number one thing. When I was producing my podcast, the other podcast, that was the one thing I couldn't get my buddy to do. I couldn't get him to get very engaged with people.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not something that people just have.
Let me tell you what it is. What helps me, dude, is weed. And I'm just fucking, dude, I'm so
sure.
like, I'm here.
For
And
sure.
like, I'm not going anywhere. As long as I'm high, like we may have to go out, take like a halfway break or something.
Bro, like that could be your intro. Like you're smoking a joint and you're just like, you have your phone recording and be like, okay, I'm just getting ready for this interview. I'm going to sit down with this guy and I don't even know what we're going to talk about. You know, he does this, and trust me, if you were talking to a philosophy professor, what would you ask him?
What do you think life is about? Like, what's your perspective on life, I guess? Life and death. And that would be the first question I ask.
There you go. You have no idea that people never understand. I shouldn't say people never understand, but it's very rare. People don't think that one question will start an hour-long conversation. That one question will spark an hour-long conversation. And it doesn't seem like it because you think he's just going to be like, I think life is about going to the store and getting food. And he's going to end his sentence and just stare at you. He's not. He's going to talk. He's going to go. He's a person. He's going to keep going. And then eventually, if they're engaged at all, they're going to ask you something. Right? Just like you asked me something. You're like,
I'm more of a listener. See, you know what? I'm more of a listener. I don't like to talk. I like to just
And that's even better.
I like to listen.
I'm telling you should do it. I'm telling you. Because you just told me that you want to get into comedy, that you're feeling like you're just existing, you don't have a lot of fulfillment, and you're very interested in life. You're very interested. Like if somebody came to you and was like, I have this amazing theory of what happens when we die, you'd be like, oh yeah, let's fucking you'd be like, I'm going to go smoke a spliff right now, and I'm going to talk to this person all day about what they want to talk about right now.
Yeah, dude,
you can
100%.
Easily do that.
Wow.
I'm telling you, you should 100%.
Now that you say it like that, that's kind of like that. I like the way that sounds.
Easily. If you just go around Calgary and just ask people and just keep asking people, eventually people want to talk.
I like that idea.
Especially if you're just talking to regular people. I've made it a point to talk to
not just like artists or like creative people or like, you know.
I've made it a point to try and find regular people. I want to find like
really, but like why? Like what? Like regular
creative
people? Like what's so special about like? Well, what are you gonna get?
They make up the entire.
What are you gonna
world.
Get out of a sheep?
You
know what I mean? What do they know? These fucking sheep. Like dude, I don't know. You gotta stumble. Like, how can you have an intellectual conversation with someone who's fucking asleep? Like you're saying a regular person, but like. Do you like that of someone who's just fucking living their life like day to day miserable fucking?
Like a regular person in the sense of like I'm not gonna look for the hottest artist that's like in Toronto right now. I'm not gonna look to find the greatest painter that's in Toronto right now. I'd rather just find people who are doing it. Like when I was interviewing creatives, there was a program called Sketch, where you go into this place and you kind of you get like. It's free resources. So like if you're a painter, there's free paint. You get to just paint and like you don't have to pay for it or anything. It's just like this program that they have set up by the government. Okay. And fucking I interviewed a bunch of artists from there. And like the conversations are just as engaging. Like they go through like even more shit than regular artists, and you don't know who they're going to become. You don't actually know if you're talking to a regular person. Could be talking to the next fucking Picasso. You don't know what he's gonna be. You don't know what his shit's gonna be worth after he dies. And even like I worked with this guy. His name was Jim Dowell. I worked with him at Rogers. Okay. And he was like a driving, like as I was listening to all this stuff about like growing and becoming someone different and like following my heart, he was like a driving force in that because he was like 60, maybe older, maybe younger. But he was older, right? And he was all about just going after what makes you happy. And I remember he was like, this job at Rogers was going to pay more, but he worked at I believe it was like Canadian Tire, but he liked it there. And he's like, I just can't afford. He's like, I need something that pays more. He's like, but if they'll pay me more, he's like, I'd rather just stay there. And I remember I was telling him the same kind of thing. I'm like, I'd rather just do what makes me happy. And he's like, that's all you have to do. Like he was like the driving proponent to that. Like in terms of a person, he was like, just do that. He's like, do the things that make you happy because like, he's like, that's what makes the most sense. And if I could interview him right now, he's a regular person, but 100%, he's gonna have amazing stories. He's gonna have amazing insights. You just never know. You just never know what somebody's gonna have, what they've been through, because as much as it's like you're interviewing a regular person, you're also interviewing a person who's had 20 to 40 years of experiences, things that they've gone through. Like you never know what somebody's gone through. They could have gone through like a lot of shit. They could have had like that master coach. Like right away, I thought he was like a master, like a coaching guy, and I thought we would talk about like mindset. And right away, he's like, yeah, we can talk about how I dealt with having an abusive alcoholic father and how I got through that, and how I became a professional hockey player at 16. And transferred that into becoming a success coach. And I was like, what the fuck? anytime I see Marco Montario, I think it's gonna be like a regular guy, and then all of a sudden he said all that, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how weird is that? How fucking weird. Oh shit, battery's dying. Switch that battery. But you know what I mean? Like, you never know what somebody's gonna bring to the table.
So out of all the interviews that you've done, what is like the most inspiring? What's the most inspiring thing that you've got out of like all these interviews?
Oh, the most inspiring. Holy shit, that one just died too. Record, bro.
A record? What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't usually go this long with people.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Are they done by now, or are we going?
Yeah.
Really? Dude, I could keep going like.
Yeah, that's why I say that you're good at this. Like, you'd be really good at it because you can keep talking and keep going. And
Got nowhere to go, nowhere to be, you know?
So the most inspiring thing?
The most inspiring thing, motivational fucking piece, like, and like that thing, honestly, like that thing you told me about the broadening the shoulder, like having the, instead of asking
for a lighter load, ask for broader shoulders.
That was fucking inspiring.
Yeah.
Something like that, dude.
The most inspiring thing for me at a certain point, when I was interviewing creatives, I interviewed this guy. Fuck, I can't remember his name. And he was a director producer, and it was the first time I was sitting down, because like I started interviewing creatives because I didn't think I was a good enough creative. Like, I didn't think I was doing it the way that like a real creative would do it. Like, I had like imposter syndrome, I guess you can say.
What?
And I thought like I didn't know what I was doing, and like who am I to think that I'm like one of these people?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I got to talk to a director producer, and like he's actually willing to sit down with me. I was like, holy fuck. And most inspiring thing was, I was like, am I doing this right? He's like, yeah. He's like you're doing it. He's like, you're doing it right because you're doing it. He's like, and that's what you have to do.
Wow.
He's like you have to.
Wow, dude. Holy shit. You're doing it, and that's the fucking thing.
That's what you gotta do, man. And he was like, yeah. He's like, you're doing it. Like, that's how it starts. He's like, you have to start doing shit.
Wow.
In order to like really learn. And that for me, I was like, holy fuck, a real director, a real producer fucking told me that I'm actually doing it right. I was like, okay. Because he looked at everything, and he looked at like the interface. He's like, yeah. You're doing it.
Dude, that
He's like, he like looked at all the microphones and shit and the cameras. He's like, yeah, the lights. He's like, yeah, you're doing it. He's like, this is what you're supposed to do.
Wow.
And that was like one of the most inspirational things for me, just because that was like a real kick. I was like, oh shit, like
you're on the path. Like there's because dude, there is no way, but like you're making you're on the path, doing it your way.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're
learning
doing
my
it.
way, and so that was one of the most inspiring things.
Wow.
I can't really think about anything else. And then like talking to this guy Tom Ness, he built like 2 8-figure brands.
Okay.
And he was like, and I've said it before, but I've never heard a rich person say it. But he's like, you got to think of the thing you do for free. Because he left the company that he helped build, and this company's like making like $15 million a year. And he's like, they were based in Boulder, Colorado. He's like, I want to live in Florida with my wife. He's like, this is where we want to live. We like this weather. He's like, you got to think of the shit you do for free. He's like, I'd rather build a business here and build my life around what I want. He's like, rather than be over there and make money but like be miserable. And he was just like, do the thing that makes like for free.
Agreed 1,000%.
I was like,
dude.
holy fuck. I was like, yeah.
You know, but it's like it's easier said than done, you know? And like
to an extent, I mean, you just got to do it.
Well,
what thing would you do for free? Like, what's the thing you would do for free?
Right now, honestly, what I do, I would do for free. Teaching skating, working with my friend Dylan, and DJing at the strip club, all those things I would do for free. So you know what? Like, that's why, like, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I'm happy because I don't think there's such thing as like a baseline like happy, because it's always like up and down, but I'm grateful for my life more so than ever because I'm in a great place and I enjoy everything that I do for work, you know, but I still feel like I'm not doing enough, but I just don't know.
Well, then it sounds like you've hit it. I mean, if you're doing what you do for free, I mean, you just have to think of like what your main passion is, and you have to try the things. That's the main thing, though. Like if you never tried working at the rec center, then like you wouldn't know that you like doing that. And if you never tried doing music and then working out, you wouldn't know that you like working out more than you like music. And like if you don't try like what I'm telling you to do with the podcast, which is simple, just a phone and just press record, if you don't try that, like you're not going to know if you actually like that. Like if you don't actually go and get on stage like as a comedian, you're never going to know if that's the thing you want to do. Because like you might get on stage and you might be like, oh, this is 1 billion times better than the rec center, but the rec center pays money, so I'm going to continue to do that, and I'm going to fucking do a spot, like an open mic spot every week for the rest of my life until I make something of myself.
Wow.
Do it, man.
That's something I think I like. I resonate with that, with being a comedian. Cause
I think so too.
Cause like being a rapper and like especially dude, after I went to that Ritz show and I saw him like the crowd that goes, I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like, why do I want to fucking be in front of these kind of fucking losers? Fucking losers. I love Ritz, but like, dude, the crowd of people that go to your show are a bunch of fucking losers, dude. Fuck. And I'm like, yo, I think from that point, I slowly stopped wanting to be a rapper after I went to that show. It just lost the fire. Just like, I don't know. I just didn't have the desire to pursue that, like, fucking, it just, yeah.
You saw it in a different light. I had one of those moments too myself with video production. Some guy that was on the podcast, the other podcast I was producing, Hardy Gentleman, he was a producer for Universal Picture Group, like Universal. Yeah, like he was like an actual producer, like and he was like making movies and shit. He called me after our interview and he was like, "Hey, like, you know, you do videography." He's like, "I need a videography for a TIFF event," and I'm like, TIFF, like, holy fuck, we're gonna do a TIFF event. So I went and covered it.
Wow.
And while I was covering it, I was like, I don't like this.
What?
I'm like, I don't like the people were good when you were talking to them as people. But the camera made everybody fake. And I was the person behind the camera. So you could see it more than ever, and I just didn't enjoy it. Like there were a lot of times where somebody would be getting their photo taken, and they'd be like, you know, like it just like you'd see on like ET or anything. Like the cameras are flashing, they're like doing the poses. The second like all that goes away, they're just like, and like they change.
Wow,
like,
really, dude? Wow.
Yeah, I remember one of them was like, I just want to fucking go home. They're like, I don't even want to be here. And I was like, man,
wow.
like I don't. And like after seeing all that and like seeing like, I'm like, oh, this is like, I don't want to be a part of something that's fake. One guy, I think he was the editor. I guess I won't even talk about like his position, but one guy that was like a part of the production. I was talking to him, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I've learned that from Jordan Peterson, and he was like, oh, true. And then he brought me in close, and he's like, I really like Jordan Peterson's work. He's really cool. He's like, but I can't really talk about that. He was afraid to talk about the fact that he liked Jordan Peterson in front of the people that he worked with, because they'd see him in a different light. Because Jordan Peterson to some people is seen as like a negative figure,
really, a
far right figure. Some people think he's like, some people call him a Nazi. Some people say he's like racist. He's not. He's none of those things. But people brand him like that who are in the left community.
Okay.
So he was afraid, like, and everybody like in the actor community is like very left, right? And he didn't want anybody to know. So like he couldn't even talk about it openly.
It's very strange.
And it was I was like, fuck. I'm like, that sucks, man. because like people would see him differently, and he worked with a bunch of women, and it was like on a movie that was like predominantly women, and it was like really focused on like some girl power type of shit. So he couldn't even talk about it, and I was like, man, I don't like this atmosphere. And after that, I was like, I don't know if I want to do. And then the last video gig I did,
that was like a paid gig.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last gig I did, I remember as I was sitting there like doing it, it was like for one of the bigger people that I've like worked with in terms of like in the health community, in the influencer community. And I was like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
what was it? Tell me.
No, it wasn't anything that was going on. Just like I was there, like behind the camera, and I was like, I don't want to do stuff. Like I don't want to do this. Like, and I sat down to like edit her stuff, and I'm like, I really don't want to do this anymore.
Even for money, like
yeah,
it wasn't
I'm
like
man, like if I can just like, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, because I don't want to do things just for money.
Wow.
You know, like if it's just money. Like you don't want to you feel fulfilled like you're working with kids and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
But like if it was like just for money, and the kids were like shitty and they'd kick you and spit at you and like never learned anything from you and didn't remember your name, you'd be like, what am I doing here? Yeah. So, not that that's happening to me in the fucking film community, but like, you know what I mean? I don't want to do things just for money. It doesn't feel good anymore. You know?
Wow.
So
really, like you're there, huh? We're like, that's awesome.
I guess. So like I said, I'm just gonna Uber and do this, and make some more meaningful content, and it's gonna be my life for a while. I the only 9 to 5 I can think that I want is like something in training. Like I told you, I want to work in like employment services.
Yo,
like
you think you could really fucking? You couldn't do a 9 to 5. I can't do a 9 to 5, and I don't think you would serve
employment services. Definitely. If I was actively helping people get jobs, like people who are like can't hold a job, can't get a job.
Really? Like you'd want to do that? Like not something interesting, like fucking this?
That is interesting.
Really?
I used to be that person. I used to, like I just told you, like when I was 23, I didn't know how to use a fucking computer. I didn't understand how to get a job at all. I thought I was going to work labor jobs for the rest of my life because I was like, fuck, I don't know how to do anything else. I just know how to lift shit. It's like, so I'm like, what am I going to do? So if I could show somebody the skills needed to like get a job like in a new field and like move up and like stop the wear and tear on their body and like get something that's more fulfilling to them, that would be a great service.
Really? That's what you want to do?
That's what I want to do for now. Like I know I want to do some kind of training or teaching or something. I know like I'm like gravitating towards that. Even as I do this, like this is like I just want to help people improve. That's what I know. I know I want to help people improve. Like I want to help, like with the podcast, I want to help somebody with the podcast the same way so many podcasts have helped me. Because like there's so many times where I was working where like I just felt horrible, but like a podcast like kept me going, kept my mind moving, kept me engaged in something other than like the soul sucking job that was in front of me. So if I could be that for somebody else, then like that's
even just to one person, man. And it's crazy if you can just impact one person.
I was one person, right? So it's like, why not? Right? It's a big thing. It's a big thing to help somebody. It feels good. Definitely. So yeah, that
like I feel like that just on helping other people, dude. I think when it comes down to like purpose in life, I think it all comes down to just helping other people and like being of service to other people. Yeah. And like not a selfish, like, you know, trying to accumulate the most like material things but rather just to like just help people and have like a positive impact. And like, because when you die, dude, you don't take anything. You can't take the U-Haul truck doesn't follow the hearse, you know.
That's so funny. The U-Haul truck doesn't follow the hearse.
Yeah, dude.
It doesn't, right? You can't take money with you.
What do you get? What do you leave here with except for like the impact that you've had on others?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's the only thing you get to take with you, really. you get to take that with you because like you help some people, you change somebody's life, right? Like, and that's a big thing. Like we were saying, right? Like if you do transfer to something else, right? Like if you go to another realm, they're not going to care how much money you had. They're going to be like, what did you do? Oh, you didn't do anything? You have to go back.
Can you imagine?
Could you imagine?
That's fucked.
Helping people is the currency in the next realm. You're
Wow.
like, you didn't help any-"
Dude, that just resonated with me so hard. Dude.
Could you imagine?
It is. It is. It is. That's 100%. We're here. And it's like, that kind of makes sense because, like, that feels the best.
Yeah.
Helping people.
Yeah.
That's like you're adding to your bank account.
Yeah, and you can feel it when you help somebody. You feel it in like your soul, your spirit.
Like, why does it feel good? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you never feel like bad when you help people?
Yeah, it's so true. Like never.
Especially if you do it. Especially when you do it without expecting anything back. Just like, all right, I'm gonna help you, and just that, because that gives you the positive. And you know what's crazy even about saying that? It's like a selfish reason. You help other people out of the selfishness that it brings you the fucking good feeling. So it's like it's kind of trippy, huh?
Yeah, it's weird, right? But like, yeah, it's good. I don't know. Yeah, it's true. It's true, but like you need that. That's our point system in order to like be good people, I guess. Like that thing ticks off. It would be weird if you helped somebody and you felt nothing.
Like, how good it feels that, like, for example, like when I was in Calgary and I was with my friend Dylan, he's blind, and I was driving him home in his family's van, and dude, the van just like broke down, and we were going up a hill and like it broke down.
Fuck.
And I'm like, I parked it and like I couldn't push it. I was trying to push it like up the hill, just like not too far, maybe like 50 meters or something. There was like a parking thing, but it still was up another hill. And I'm like trying to push it. And dude, like all of a sudden, like 3-4 people come, the cars pull up and they fucking help to push it.
Wow.
And it's the best and we did it. And it was the best feeling.
Fun.
And like, they gave me a great feeling, and I'm sure even they got a fucking even better feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like helping people, dude.
Yeah, that's so true.
But dude, some people, like, not everybody is like that. And like, some people will see somebody that needs help and just like keep moving. You know what I mean? And like, I've even been that person, like, oh, I've seen people trying to push their car, and I'm like, oh, not today. I just took a shower. I'm all dressed up. I'm going maybe to work or something. Not today. I don't feel like being the hero today. You know what I mean?
God. Yeah. That's so funny. It's true though, right? Like, I don't know. It does feel good when you do that. Like, I remember I saw this woman. This only happened like right before I moved out of the place at Davenport. I saw this woman. She was carrying like a drawer, like a dresser, but like a one shelf, like, just so you can like put like maybe books on kind of thing. It was like maybe this tall, and she's carrying it. And it's so funny because I'm listening to this guy Lewis Howes talk about living in service, and I'm just listening to it, and I walk right by her. And then all of a sudden, like, something told me to stop, and I look back, and she put it down, and like I see her going like this.
Was it cold? Was it in the winter?
Yeah, and she's older. I'm like, oh, she's like warming up and like getting ready to like have to carry this thing again. So like right away, I just walk up to her, I just grab it. I'm like, where are we going?
No way.
And it felt so good. It felt so good.
And she had no problem, obviously, I'm sure.
No, right away. Her name was Lynn. And she was
you
like,
remember her name?
Yeah,
too.
of course. She was just like, thank you. And that was it. And I'm like, where are we going? In my, the only thing happened in my head, I'm like, oh shit, how far am I gonna walk right now? But it didn't matter because I was on my morning walk anyway. So I was like, fuck it, the longer the better, I guess. But she was like just up the street, and then I just brought it up to her porch, and it just felt amazing. Like literally, like I just put it down, have a good day, and like that was it. And I don't know, man. Yeah, maybe it is the currency.
The currency, dude.
It's fucked. Can you imagine you get there? They're like, yo, you didn't help anybody? Yo, you're broke in this place, bro. How crazy would that be?
Because, dude, if you think about it, why is it that rich people are the most miserable people? Like, dude, think about it.
It's like their spirits trying to tell them something. They're like, yo,
money can't buy you happiness,
bro. Yo,
dude.
you're gonna be broke when we die. Come on, bro. How crazy is that? Yeah, you're gonna be broke when you're dead because you didn't help anybody. You gotta help some people.
It's a fucked up thought, dude. That makes me just want to like, and like if you think about it, like what? Because like why are there like humanitarians and like Mother Teresa's probably fucking?
Yeah.
Because like maybe they have like they kind of know like, because why devote you? Because like think about it, not every and like. Clearly on the planet, like there's only the percentage of people that want to help everyone is like that's the minority, that's the few, that's the 1%. Like why doesn't everyone want to be like, why doesn't everyone want to be helpful? Why aren't we united? Weird. Why are we all divided like that?
Yeah, that is weird, because it's like, yeah, why wouldn't you want to help somebody?
Because what if that is the like if we knew that was 100% the currency, wouldn't we all just be fucking
100%.
Giving each other piggyback rides to wherever we need to go,
100%.
Just fucking.
Somebody be tapping on the window right now. You guys good? You guys good? You guys need anything? You're both good. All right. Dude. Oh my God, my mom would be manning a camera right now. She's like, you guys all right? Focus in right now. Holy fuck, yeah, man.
But maybe that's why, kind of like, that's part of the game. Like, you don't know that. So it's like, that's kind of like up to you if you want to fucking, which path you get the free will to kind of choose. But we're definitely, dude, hold on. I finished my coffee. It's definitely connected, man. What we do here is connected to, and it doesn't stop here. There's no way, because, dude, we don't know how we came here, and we don't know what's going to happen after. And, like, it's not gonna like I don't think it's just gonna come to an end.
Yeah, it feels like it's not.
No.
For some reason, like if somebody asked me, like it feels like it's not. It feels like you're gonna close your eyes and something else is gonna happen. It feels like it, right? Like it feels like something else is gonna like kick off. But it's not gonna be the same type of existence as this. You know? Like it's gonna be a different type of existence.
But who knows? At the same time, who knows, right? We don't know, and it's the unknown, and like.
But like, you ever heard people like talk about like near-death experiences?
Yeah, I could even say that I had a near-death experience.
But like, people talk about like being dead, like because they're like actually dead on like the table, and then they literally a bunch of people will talk about like not wanting to go back. Like Kevin, I think it was on Joe Rogan, Kevin Smith, his mom was talking about it.
Okay.
Because his mom like almost died.
Okay.
She was like dead on the table, and she's like where I went, she's like there was no worry, she's like all responsibility was gone. She's like there was just nothing. I've even heard other people have that experience, and like they'll see like another relative that's dead, and they're like, I don't want to go back. And they're like, you have to go back. And they're like, no, not going back. Like, they're literally having an argument, like, outside their body saying, I'm not going back. And they're like, you have to. And then all of a sudden, they'll, like, get a push. And then all of a sudden, they wake up and be like, fuck. Because, like,
you don't think that's just, like, in the mind, dude? Like, I'll tell you why I don't kind of believe.
Because, like, what's in the mind? Because this is, like, just our brain, right?
What is the mind isn't the brain, right? The mind is something else.
Yeah.
The mind is, and I don't even, the thing is, like, talking about the mind, like what is the mind? Like I think the mind is like, it's not just this one thing, but it's like it is like this one thing. Okay, there's like the universal mind, which is like everything. Okay, there it's I can't remember the name of it, but the first thing is like everything is mind. I can't remember what it's some occult thing, but everything is mind. Yeah. Everything is like made up of mind. Yeah. So like there's like the universal mind, and then we all are connected to it, right? Yeah. We all have that thing in our head that's like
pineal gland or whatever.
Yeah, and like, but you know how we have thoughts in our head, whatever. That's like your mind. Like if you close your eyes enough, if I say Colin in my head, like I hear that's in my mind. Like that's not in my brain. Like that's the mind. No, isn't it the fucking like when you see like what is the mind?
What is it?
So we're definitely all connected to it, and like maybe that's like God or whatever, or just whatever. No. But I think it's like we're connected to it, but it's not us. We aren't, like, you know what I mean? We have access to it, but it's this like infinite, and I don't even know if infinite's the right word, because infinite even puts like it into a finite thing, but it's this like whatever infinite thing that we have a connection to. And that, because like, dude, the fact that like I thought about you and like that was in my mind,
Yeah, of course.
and then here we are.
Yeah.
So we have, what is the mind? It's like this thing that we have access to, but we aren't the mind. We're a separate thing from the mind. We're the awareness, but the mind isn't, it's not us.
Yeah. Like,
we aren't our mind.
you're talking about like the universal consciousness kind of thing, like that database that we reach into.
Or like, for example,
the database that like Steve Jobs was like linked into.
Yeah.
Which is why he was like, I'm going to change the world like this.
And also when you meditate, that thing that fucking keeps distracting you, you know what I mean? That's like making you think things and like.
Yeah.
That's not you. I don't think that your thoughts are you. Your thoughts are just like from a generator, dude.
Yeah.
You're not like, dude.
Yeah. Like I can agree with that, just because like I've had thoughts, and like it's so weird. I'm even careful. Like if I have an idea, I'm like, I'm not writing this idea out.
Why?
Because I feel like once I write it out and make it more apparent, other people have access to the idea.
Whoa.
And I think, because I've seen it happen. I've had so many ideas about things, and then somebody else will do the same thing. I remember when I used to write raps. I wrote something, and I promise you, I can't remember what it was, but then I heard Kanye West say it, and I'm like, fucking fuck. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that me and Hank were actually talking about this, how like not all thoughts are like your own. Like sometimes like you have a thought and you're like, what the fuck was that all about? Like I don't.
And like negative thoughts too. Like
yeah.
Why would we want to think negative thoughts if they're like?
And it's like, I don't know, like something will just pop in and it's like, that's so not me. Like, why am I thinking that at all?
Yeah.
Like
have you caught yourself like before? Like, yeah, why do I have this? Like,
yeah, hundreds of times. That's why it's like, as I started to meditate more and more, it started to like slow down and like get like slower and slower. And like, I can like pick those out now, and you become conscious of your self-talk, because if you just let it run rampant, your self-talk, then you'll kind of let all those other thoughts intertwine and just jumble up with it all. You know, you won't know what's what. But if you keep your self-talk positive all the time, and all of a sudden something negative pops up, you're like, the fuck did that
what's
come
the
what's that? Like, I didn't plan for that one. I don't know, it's weird, man. I like that conversation though. What is the mind? Because like I've heard, I forget which like motivational or like speaker or life person it was, but they were talking about, they're like, this is not the mind, because like they're like, this is the mind, because like when you do this, like your brain isn't going like move muscle.
No, it's just connected. Yeah,
this that. It's not doing all that. It's like you kind of just do it on your own. So it's like, this has to be something like the mind's like this. I don't know, man.
And it's weird. There's like the different, dude. There's like the unconscious.
This is the best podcast I've ever done.
Oh, that's amazing.
How fucking weird is that?
Is it really? Is it really?
Hands down.
That feels good. See, bro, that feels amazing.
Every so often, I have a conversation, and I'm like, this is gonna change the way that I'm gonna do this show, the process. That's why it's called the process. And like now, it's changed.
That's incredible.
Now, like I was gonna do it very educational. I was gonna stay in that realm, but now I know I have to have conversations like this. Like, and I'm gonna make sure I talk to some like far out people and like have some really deep conversations.
Like education, you mean with like the behavioral like scientists?
Yeah, I was gonna go deep into like that part, but like I'm gonna still do that, but I'm also gonna have these conversations because like they're needed for myself, if anybody.
Yeah, I feel
because it's just good to have those kind of conversations. How often do you do that?
Not very often, dude. Not very often at all.
That's what I mean. That's why you should do it. Trust me. I'm pretty sure I have a phone somewhere. I'm pretty sure I have an iPhone 5. Hank sells me all my phones. You know, for like the past like, I would say like 6 years, I've only bought phones from Hank.
Yo, should I not go to Wind? I should just go straight to Hank and like just buy a phone off Hank right now.
I bet you he has one. I bet you if you went to him, he'd be like, I got a 6 Plus. Can you get it off for $400? I don't know.
Maybe I should do that. I should go to Hank.
I don't remember what was wrong with my iPhone 5, but I just remember I bought the 7 from him because I wanted it. I bought it.
He sold you on it because that's why that motherfucker sold you on it.
You know what he does? What he does?
What?
He'll always message me and he'll be like, listen, I don't know if you know anybody that wants this phone. He'll never be like, yo, you want this phone? Never. He never does that.
Wow.
He'll be like, I don't know if you know anybody that want this phone, but I'm getting rid of it for like $400. If you end up taking it, I'll do like $300. But I'm just saying.
Oh my god!
I'm
what
like,
a fucking guy.
and he gets me. He gets me every time. God. Every time, like I'm like even right now, I don't have any money, and I'm like, man, I know he has a phone that I could buy off of him for like $275, and I'm like, fuck, maybe I should get it, but I don't have the money for it.
Oh my gosh!
If I did, he would have got me. Every time, I'm always like, I'll see. And it's usually me that buys it. Fucking guy. But that's the thing. When you buy phones off Hank, it's never a bad decision.
Really?
Of course not, because he's with you the whole time. If anything happened with this phone out of nowhere, he'd be like, let's take it to the Apple store. Let's see if we can get an update. Let's see if we, like, he'll do.
It's the Hank warranty,
yeah, it's a different type of warranty, man. He'll make sure. I remember he took this phone. He went into the settings. Told me what my battery power was, like my real battery power, not like the one that it shows. He's like, you got to look at this battery power. This battery power is like at 82%. He's like, soon you're gonna have to do a battery swap. Oh, it went at the same time. So yeah, that's Hank. Fuck. But yeah, man. I'm gonna have to have more conversations like these now. That's the process. That's what I just learned today, guys, that I have to have more conversations about esoteric type shit, because that's what I'm into. That's why I got the fucking tattoos. Holy shit, they look crazy. This looks crazy.
Yo, but you know
how nice my girlfriend's parents are to like not look at these tattoos and be, because when I first met them, I didn't have these tattoos, and then I went to the States and came back, I had all these tattoos. They didn't say a word. This is crazy. This is huge. Fuck, whatever. It's so nuts.
Yo, people don't like to talk about, I find people avoid the esoteric thing.
Yeah.
And like, I think people are uncomfortable. Like, we were even on the birthright trip, and we were just blazing at the Israeli museum. We went to like this art museum.
You were blazing in it?
Well, in the grounds.
Okay,
there was like the grounds were there blazing. There was a nice view. And like this guy who like I didn't really like, but like he was just there and like he wanted to blaze, whatever. So like we're blazing, and then all of a sudden we start talking about like how it's like brainwashing and like
what,
the trip
yeah.
And like, dude, he just walked away right away. He's like, man, I gotta go. Like he took like a few. He's like, but literally right when we started talking about like kind of like the esoteric, like what's the agenda and stuff like that. He's like, yo, I gotta go. And like people, dude, it's and you say like just talk to regular people, but like people like you can't just talk to regular people. It takes like
it's just. If the thing is, if you
disagree.
go to somebody and you ask them about like first of all, like you can't just be like, hey, I just want to talk to you, because they'll be like, who do you mean? Really, everybody's gonna be like, what are you talking about? What do you want to talk about? You have to talk to them. Yo, it's been 2 hours. Look at this
already.
Yeah, it's crazy. Eh?
No.
Yeah.
No, not 2 hours.
Why would I make that up?
You're making it up. I don't believe you.
2 hours, 5 minutes.
Wow.
But you can't just be like, I want to talk to you. You have to find the people. Like you want to get into comedy. So when you talk to a comedian, you'd be like, yo, I want to like get into comedy, and like I want to like talk about it, and like I have this podcast that I do. Like I haven't like posted any episodes or anything yet, but like I wanna have a conversation about comedy. Like that's how you position a comedian. If you wanted to talk about, say, philosophy or the mind, you'd have to find someone that's into that, right? You can't go to the fucking the store clerk and be like, yo, you want to talk about like the mind sometime? Because then, yeah, you're right. He'll be like, no, I don't want to do that. Right? unless all of a sudden he looks exactly like you. Like if I went to a fucking Max and the guy looked just like you, I'd be like, yo, I'm gonna try and interview this guy. Like right away, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna talk to this guy, see what's going on with him. Like one day I saw a photographer walking down the street when I was living over at Davenport, I saw him walking down the street. He just had a camera in his hand. It was like wrapped around his hand, but he had all these sick tattoos and he had like the sick haircut and everything. And I was like, yo, this guy looks interesting. I'm like, yo, you want to do an interview sometime? I'm like, I live there. And I'm like, he's just like, yeah, sure. And then he just like walked away. And then we got like exchanged numbers and like that was it. And like that's.
Did you do that interview with him? Or?
No, we didn't actually get to. I actually moved out before I could do it, and then like his schedule didn't allow it. But like we were both down, like so it's like you just gotta think of that. Just like the guy I met in the Uber, like he heard I was listening to a podcast called Impact Theory, and he's like, yo, is this Impact Theory?
No way.
And I'm like, yeah.
No way.
He's like, yo, I was just listening to this. So right away, it's like we both have a common interest. And I told him I'm really into the mind. I'm really into habits, behaviors, and I want to know like what pushes people to like want more. He's like, I think we met for a reason. I'm like, yeah, would you ever want to be on it? He's like, definitely. He's like, and we should meet up like beforehand. And then like we did. We met up. We sat down. We had like a 2.5 hour conversation. Like he was right by his work. We talked for a while. Like so it's like talk to regular people, but like you got to talk to the people who are like in your tribe kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I feel you, yeah.
So it's like not just anybody, but like the people who would actually make sense to talk to. So like
that you have a vibe, but like that's where the vibe comes in. If you feel the vibe,
it's a vibe, but also it has to be a common interest because a common interest is the precursor to a vibe.
Okay, I
right?
feel you.
That's the only reason you vibe with certain people.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because you both have like a bunch of common interests, and you can even form it off of one common interest. You know, so you might like meet. There might be a fucking professor somewhere in Calgary who wants to talk about all this shit. And none of his students want to talk about this shit. And you go to him and you're like, hey, you want to talk about like what is the mind? He'll be like, yes. Yes, I do. I've wanted to talk about this for so long. He's like tired of like his students just like texting while he's doing his lecture and shit. And he actually has somebody who wants to sit in front of him.
Wow,
and, like, be
dude, that's
like,
yeah, I feel that.
Like,
I feel you,
for
dude.
sure. There's so many people. You might fucking go to the skating rink and like figure out the guy who's fucking working the Zamboni has like.
I don't think so.
Who's maybe he's seen like 10 people die in his life, and like he's just and all of a sudden you're like, hey man, you want to talk about that? Like, and maybe he'll be like, yeah, sure. Because he's never gotten a chance to talk about it and compartmentalize it and like deal with it. You know, like you never know. You never know. So that's why it's so important to keep talking to people and like keep an open dialogue going. And like Johnson always says it, put yourself out there. And I always say put your interest out there. Because like that's like the main thing. I gotta make sure I'm in the right place. But yeah, put your interest out there. Like put them out there.
What do you mean put your interest?
Everybody you talk to, be like, say your interests. Like just like as you're talking to them, you know, like you're talking about something, be like, yeah, you know, and like I'm really into comedy. I'm hoping to actually get into comedy at some point somehow. I'm just not sure how. Keep doing that. If you keep doing, because the universe is not going to do anything if you're just on your couch. Like it can't.
No, you're right.
It can't.
You're right.
Like the universe is not going to rip open the fucking hood of the fucking house or like the top of the house and like drop in the people who are supposed to.
God only helps people that help themselves.
Yeah, right? So like you got to like put your own interest out there and eventually people will just be like, yeah, I'm into that. Yeah, I'm into that. It has
to be genuine.
Yeah, if I went into that Uber, like if I was Ubering and I decided, okay, I'm going to play music because most people like music and like I just want to satisfy the customer, I would have never met that guy. He would have got in the car and we would have like never connected at all. Like never. But instead I was doing something that interests me, which was listening to a podcast, and we were able to connect and it all made sense. You know what I mean? Like I would have never connected with him if I was just playing music. He would have just thought.
But you're just being yourself too.
Yeah.
You're just doing you.
Exactly. You got to paint the picture that is yourself. If I was just listening to like hip hop, he would have just thought this is just some black guy listening to hip hop. He would have been like, we probably don't have anything in common. But I was listening to the exact podcast that he was listening to, like not even like 3 hours ago.
Wow.
So it was like it just made sense. So if you start putting your interests out there, you'll get it. But man, there's a bunch of people. I keep trying to think of. I don't know anything about Calgary, but like there's a bunch of shit out there.
I know. I know
there's schools out there. So I know there's professors out there, and I know that when we hear the word teacher and professor, you keep thinking about this old 60-year-old guy. But if you really think about teacher and professor, they're probably going to be around our age group. Think about it. I'm fucking 32.
You think so, dude? Yeah.
I'm 32. How old are you now?
30.
Holy fuck. Jesus.
I know, right? Fuck.
Wow.
Can't be a rapper anymore, dude.
Phil's
It's
30.
time. That's all that's like.
Jesus. Man, I remember when you were like 16. Jesus.
Wow.
That's so weird.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Every time I see you, I always think you're like Moish's age, no matter what age Moish is. Just like when I see Moish, I'm like he's 15. But he's like a grown man now. It's so weird. See what I mean? Like if you go, like most of these professors are gonna be like around your age. These teachers are gonna be like around your age. And also, what you have, I wish I had, because if I could go to a teacher, professor, and be like, yeah, I'm like a gym school teacher for like homeschooled kids. Right away, you have an in because they're like, oh, he's a teacher too. Like right away, you have this common thing. That
Yeah,
like,
I guess.
like, oh, he's a teacher. Like he's like a different type of teacher, but like he's a teacher as well. Like I can't do that. Like I want to go to York University, but it's gonna be hard because they're gonna be like, who the fuck are you? I'm like, just here. I just came. I got this podcast. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? How did you get in here? I'm gonna be like, I like Jordan Peterson. They're gonna be like, what? So it's gonna be hard, but you have that link already.
Yeah, but why don't you just make it up? Why don't you
I'm
just
not gonna-
say, why not? But like,
I
dude,
don't want to lie. I don't want to have to lie. I told you I want to live a life you can tell everybody about. So I'm not gonna make up.
sometimes you have to make things up. Like,
No,
what about
no,
in a
I'll-
resume? What about in a resume?
It
Like, if
doesn't
you don't
matter.
have,
It's not the same thing, right? Because
You
you're
don't
gonna
think
you're
so?
gonna engage in a conversation with this person, right? So the last thing you want to do is be lying to a person that you're
yeah,
gonna have an
okay,
engaged conversation
okay.
with. But even still, I don't have to lie. I mean, as much as I'm saying that, it's gonna still be easy for me because I'm just gonna go there and be like, "Hi, heard you're a professor. I want to talk about this, and this with people. I wonder if you're interested." That's all I have to do. It's very simple. I'm just making it into something funny, and you can do it. And all you need is a phone. You literally is phone, record.
that's how you started with the phone. Is that how it all? Is that
No.
how it all started with you?
No, when I first started doing podcasts, I never wanted to do a podcast. I always wanted to like stay ahead of people. I wanted to do shows.
Uh-huh.
That's why I always do video and audio
Uh-huh.
because I was really focused on making a show, more so than a podcast.
Like when you were doing that thing, like
If you watch the first episode, of the process, it's more like a show than it is like a podcast interview.
really?
Yeah, because like you see, like the way the opening scene is me, and I'm like, who am I interviewing today? And then it's like a flash of scene of me like getting a tattoo,
Okay.
and then all of a sudden it's me walking down the street, and I'm like talking, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to meet this tattoo artist. And you know what happened the first episode?
They flopped on you.
Yeah, the fucking guy flopped.
That's so discouraging, bro. That's
yeah.
so fucking
I didn't-
discouraging.
I didn't even stop. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get a tattoo somewhere else. I'm like, fuck it, I'll just do it. I'm like, whatever, man, it sucks. But I was like, I'm getting it done regardless. Like I already made a Facebook post and told people I'm about to fucking do this, so I gotta do it. There's no choice.
Sorry, again, what are we talking about? Oh, the podcast.
The podcast. Yeah, so no, I didn't just start with that. I started with my camera, and my camera had a Rode mic. So I was using a camera and a Rode mic.
Is that the Rode mic thing on top of the camera?
Yeah. So I started with that.
Okay.
And I was just like, I knew I could get the audio from this and get another camera angle from that, and I just started doing it that way. But
With two cameras?
yeah, because I already had it by then. Like by the time I started, I had a setup, right? Like I already knew all this stuff.
Wow.
Oh fuck! I didn't even turn on that light. Shit. Too bad.
Whatever.
Yeah, man. But like, I didn't know what I was doing. But I could have started with a phone. It would have been easier.
It's weird that like you're recommending me to do it with a phone when you started like in a different way.
Because I know it would be easier. It's much easier to start a podcast without doing video. You don't need to do video to start a podcast. Like podcasts by nature are just audio. It's only people right now. All this is just us trying to keep up with Joe Rogan. Every single podcast you see that has video nowadays, you're just trying to keep up.
I know.
That's all it is. He made it a standard, right? Because he became the best, or at least the most well known, and he does videos. So everybody's just trying to keep up with it. Plus, I'm a videographer by trade, so like I wanna like work on my camera skills and stuff. So, and this has primed me perfectly to make documentaries because like I have to know how to like set up a shot for like an interview. But if you're just gonna just start a podcast, all you need is a phone.
Just the audio.
Yeah, that's all you need. And then as time goes on, you'll get one camera, like one shitty camera. You'll just have like a wide shot of you and the person talking. You don't even need more than that, really.
I like the idea of just like a phone, like a simple, like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to like set up all this fancy schmancy. You know?
Right? Like this is like second nature for me. Like I know like how to do all this, so it just made sense that I utilize what I know how to do, you know. But if I didn't, I would just start with the audio because I know at the heart of everything, I just like talking to people and having conversations. So you just gotta do it. Trust me, do it.
I gotta find like again, but for what purpose? What is the purpose of like?
I just told you. You already told me what the purpose is. You feel like you're just existing. My name's Phil. I feel like I'm just existing, and I want to find out how to live a more fulfilled life.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That's all it is, right?
Thank you.
I want to figure out how to live a more fulfilled
Thank you.
life, and then done. And then you'll just talk.
It's
to
hard
people
to
about
say that. It's hard to like admit, like, you know, I
What?
don't know. I thought I had a purpose.
Yeah, right.
I thought I had a purpose, but it wasn't my purpose.
Yeah, that's such a weird thing to go through. Cause I went through it with video. Like I really was like I have a book of affirmations where like I wrote like I have a camera crew and like I have an editor and like all this shit and like it was so weird to go through my book of affirmations and like X that out because I was like this is so I'm like because that's what I was like gunning for and like I was just on the verge of doing it and I know that if I keep doing it I'll have those $5,000 months but like I don't want to do that anymore. So it's weird. It's very weird. But yeah, your purpose isn't always what you think it is. Your purpose is what it is. Yeah.
Is it like it's not like a static thing? You don't think that's just like?
Is it a static thing?
Like your purpose will always be like, or is it just always just one thing? Like your purpose is this.
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah. I think we just go through life. And there's so many times where we're like, this is it. And we're like, wait, no. This is it. And then we're like, wait, no. This is it. Wait, no. It's weird. Because that's what I thought. I thought I had it in video.
Uh-huh.
And then I realized, like, oh, is it? Like, do I want to just, like, try and charge money and help people with their web presence and shit? Like, do I want to do that?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's not what my purpose is. My purpose is to help people. Like, that's what, like, you always have to look at what you're doing more than anything else, I think. Because naturally, like, your spirit will, like, force you to that. You know? Like, so what are you doing, like, more than anything else? And, like, for me, it was helping people. Like, whether it be my friends, a client, anything. I was always putting other people in front of, like, my own well-being, which is not healthy. So I stopped doing that. But, like, helping people is, like, what I do naturally. So I know that like whatever I do, it has to be based around that. Like that has to be the value system. So like the podcast has to help people. When I do my inspirational content, and by which I mean like it's just gonna be me talking about like inspirational topics, has to be able to help people. Like if I get a 9-to-5, it has to be helping people. It can't just be for me to just make money. Like when I was working at a fucking grocery store, like it actually has to serve the purpose of like this is helping somebody. That's why, like, if there's somebody that came in and they couldn't get a job for 5 months and I got them a job and then all of a sudden a year later they're like, yo, I got a car now. I'd be so fucking happy, man. I'd be so happy. Like, that'd be amazing. Because you know how hard it is when you don't have shit? It's fucking
No,
hell.
I don't, dude. Honestly, I don't. I'm like, I've been spoiled my whole life.
Exactly.
So I do not know what it's like to not, like, dude, I'm grateful, but I've never been on that. Like, I've always had the support system with my family, and, like, even when I was kind of, like, a piece of shit or whatever, my family was always, like, there for me, and, like, they just even helped me, like, now in Calgary, like, my parents are basically, like, they're basically they're basically paying off the mortgage. I just got like my own condo in Calgary, and like I pay about like I pay $1,000 a month, and like they pay the rest for the mortgage, and like I'm so grateful, dude. But like I never would have probably done it myself, like because dude, my whole life, and again, this is like a realization for me. But like my whole life, I just kind of expected like a handout from other people, and that's why like going out and out of your comfort zone and like pursuing something like this is so daunting for me, because in my life I've always had things basically handed to me on a silver platter, more or less, you know. I've been just fortunate enough to have that, and it's made me like I think it took away like my ambition kind of, because like I expect like, oh, I don't like.
Yeah, of course.
It's weird, man. But like talking to you, and like this is taking me on like that path of like.
Yeah, it's important to have to strive for things. It's like the most important thing I find.
Yo, but finding that, like, you know what I mean? Like, you say it now, you're in this moment, but it could change in the next moment, and like.
Yeah, of course. But you have to try the things in order to know. Like, that's the only way, and it won't be handed to you. That's the good thing. If you want to know anything that's good about like what your purpose is and your passion, it won't be handed to you, and it probably won't be fun.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because the most fulfilling things aren't usually fun. Like the most fulfilling things, the things that you're supposed to do with like your real talents, they probably won't be fun at first, but they'll be so fulfilling that you'll get so much enrichment into your life that then they'll become fun. You know, like right now, like the way I do these podcasts, like it's good, but like this isn't super fun.
Really?
Not
for you. Like, for me, like I'm high.
Like,
I'm loving this. I'm loving this right now.
It is right. Like, but the real. Like it's good, it's fun to a sense, because I know it could possibly help somebody, but like you gotta like grind it out until it actually is helpful. Really?
Like, so maybe like, is that the purpose then? Shouldn't the purpose be like a fun? Really? I disagree. Because then how is that your purpose should be something you enjoy?
No, like well, yes, enjoying something is different than it just being fun. Right, you can enjoy something. Like I ran 3.7 kilometers to the gym.
Okay.
And like I enjoyed it when I was done.
But it's not fun.
It's not when you're doing it, and like I'm trying to catch my breath, and I'm fucking running in the snow. I slipped twice. I was like, what the fuck? And I signed myself up to do that every single day. That's not fun. But when I'm done, when it's 2020 and I've ran 700 miles and I actually do a 10K fucking race, it's gonna be fucking amazing. I'm gonna have fun in that moment when it's done, but like while I'm doing it,
you're right, dude. It's just like the gym. It's like it's not fun, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So like that's like what your purpose is like.
You're right, dude. I don't want to sit down and come up with material. That's not like a fun. Like I just want to go out and make people laugh, you know. Yeah. But like you gotta fucking grind it out. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
And that shit's not handed to you. Nobody's gonna hand you that shit. Just like at the gym, no one can hand you a physique. Nobody can. Like you have to grind that out yourself.
You're right. Wow.
And it's the same thing with your purpose. It'll be the exact same thing. When you stumble upon it, it's going to be something that you're going to have to grind out yourself, and it's not going to be the funnest thing, but when you're done, you're going to be like, this is great.
There's something just about living a life with purpose, though, that's just like, even when I was doing like the music, like it felt great. Like having, and that's why when I kind of lost that, I kind of became depressed, because like, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, and like, especially with that dude, because I'm like, yo, I'm going to be a rapper. Yeah. I was so sure. I was the guy. I was so sure of it, dude. Yeah. And like, dude, I've just probably came to terms with this recently.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I've been in denial hard.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Like maybe the past month or two.
Really?
I'm just like, yo, like I'm not gonna be a rapper, I think, and this is like, I don't think, you know, yeah, dude, it was crazy. Man, it was crazy because I just lost like I didn't have, like the desire was gone, dude. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's gone, and I see like what kind of stuff is popular now, and like I was doing it for the wrong reasons, dude. I was doing it like to get girls, and like fucking maybe that's not something that I really and like that's, dude, I'm here like to spread like light throughout this fucking dark, like, dude, to make people laugh, like to have a positive impact. And through like rap, it wasn't happening.
No, you're not gonna do that. My opinion, I don't think anybody can do that through music.
Bob Marley.
Oh well, yeah. I shouldn't say music. I should say rap music.
Rap music, yes.
Like, I don't think anybody's doing that currently in hip hop. Like anybody who is.
But then again, there's conscious.
Yeah, but anybody who is doing that, they're not popular. You know,
you're right.
Like they're not the thing that like gets on.
Yeah, 100. Yeah,
it's like
100%.
it's like the lowest version of hip hop that like gets like the most play. So.
And I saw that too, and I'm just like, is that really me? Is that like
do you want to be like that? Like you have the hair, you can like fucking dreadlock it, but like that would be the next step. You'd have to dread it up. You'd have to get a face tattoo. Like you know the rule. You gotta get some fangs.
Like be some fucking weird looking guy.
Yeah, like that's the thing that's popular right now.
No, that's not me.
And none of those guys are helping anything. Like they might get their mom houses, they might help some of their friends, but like they're not helping society in the
world.
Like none of them are. Like even the best ones, Kendrick, Cole, they're not really helping the world. They're just helping themselves, really. So,
and well, they wouldn't be where they were. Like, you know what I mean? Again, there's like a reason why.
Yeah. Maybe later on in life, you know what I mean? Like
no, like, I disagree. Like, dude, name me one. Like, there's no artist that like came like and started.
And like no, there isn't. But like they might be. Like I don't know. Like you see that with like basketball players, but like then all of a sudden there's like LeBron James. He like opened up a school and like he's like doing all these educational things.
Is that what he did?
Yeah, he opened up a fucking school, and it's gonna be like free tuition, free uniforms, free like travel to the school. Yeah.
Like a high school or elementary.
I'm not sure if it's elementary or high school, but it's one of those two. It's not like a college or anything. So like that's like if he pulls it off and it actually starts happening, that's tremendous. Like he's gonna change a lot of lives. But like, how many people do that when they get in those positions? I don't know. But then all of a sudden it's like you look at like a high school teacher who's like really eccentric and like funny, and like that guy just like impacts people daily for like forever. It just keeps going. Like he just keeps on impacting people.
Yo, and do you even need to be a teacher to impact people? Can you not just like go at Tim's at Starbucks just like by smiling, like have an impact on somebody?
Yeah, that's true too.
You give them a piece of you.
Yeah.
Yo, and if you think about it, it's kind of like a sexual, like, yo, I'm giving you a piece. You're kind of like sexual. It is, and I disagree with you. I think it is
intimate. It's not sexual.
It's sexual, like you're having intercourse, dude.
It's not.
Can I tell you something? Especially with girls, them, that's like their little verbal sex.
It's not sexual.
Yes, it is.
It's intimate. Because you do it with men as well, and you can have an intimate conversation with another man.
Okay.
It's intimate. It's an intimate thing. But I mean, it's not even. I wouldn't even classify it as really intimate. Like I mean, like if we're talking about just smiling, because like I do that all the time. Like I make that a practice. Like I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna smile, like continuously smile, from Hilda all the way to
dude, but like that's kind of weird. Like forcing it.
But like later, and like people take it in differently. Like people will talk to you. People will like be like you know how many times I've done that, like walking in like Toronto, and like people will smile back, say good morning.
Really?
Yeah, like it's
you and like smile and make eye contact with people.
Yeah. And who knows what that person needs. That's why it's like making a difference, right? It's like you have to force it. Again, it's not fun when nobody's looking, but then when somebody does, they say good morning, or maybe that's like the only person that they get to talk to throughout that day, then you've done something good. I'm really big on like not everything that you're gonna like have to like not everything that you're supposed to do in the world is supposed to be like super fun. Like life's not like a fucking amusement park where you're just like all the fucking time. Like there's shit that's like not fun. Like look at women giving birth. Like fuck, the shit's not fun, but when it's done, it's the best. You know?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And like again, back
like dealing with your parents, dealing with you,
It was not a good time.
It's not fucking fun. But then all of a sudden one day you're gonna have kids and you're gonna be like straightened out. They're gonna be like, okay, fuck.
It was worth it.
There we go.
Wow.
He did it.
Wow.
You know, it's just is what it is.
Things in life aren't fun. Nothing in the... Yo, that's kind of like, that's a weird thing, because like, and I guess that's kind of like what we're sold, like things that we like, I don't know, like things that we buy like into, like whatever it is, like we're always sold something fun, like some like amusement park, like that's fun, like that's an escape, because yo, life isn't fun. Life isn't fun unless you're like, see, but that's why like I blaze every day, and to me life is fun.
I know what you mean, right? Like, but is it? Is it
yes,
actually?
Yes. Actually, it is. And you know what? Some people will tell me it's an illusion. Maybe you're going to tell me it's an illusion. But life, listen.
Serotonin.
Life is an illusion. When you say serotonin, no, it's fucking, it's other things. It's not.
It's a blast of
serotonin. The cannabis receptor, whatever. I can't remember what it's called, but like your brain has like the cannabis.
Yeah, and I just told you, your brain has a serotonin uptake system. It's like a thing that fucking goes on in your brain. Every time you smoke weed, you get a blast of serotonin.
Really?
Yes, that's why it feels so good. That's why if you stop smoking now,
you feel like shit.
Because your brain's like, we don't have to produce the serotonin. Like
the
not
weed
on
is producing it.
Not on the level that we should, because this guy's gonna fucking smoke weed in a second, and if we produce serotonin like we're supposed to, and then he smokes a bunch of weed, we might get serotonin intoxication.
Really?
And that shit's bad for you. You can die from that. Too much serotonin.
Really?
Yeah. It's fucking weird.
Really?
I remember, when I read about that, I was like, what the fuck? How weird is that?
You can die from too much serotonin.
Yeah.
Like you'll feel so good and like, oh, and then you'll fucking just like die from like feeling good.
I guess. I have no idea like what it is, but they say it causes death. Like I've never seen it or like, but I read about it because I was reading about serotonin and dopamine and stuff, because apparently I don't have a lot of dopamine going on in my body, like my brain.
You think that's from drugs?
Maybe. But no, I don't actually, because I've always been like that.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I've always been like really like just like that. Even as like a kid, like as a young kid, I was really hyperactive. Then that assault happened. I was really depressed, and like ever since then, I've been like really like just like nothing really like I like making people laugh, and I like getting into conversations that are like funny and like we're all laughing and shit. But I'm never only till recently, I've never really been happy. Like never actually happy. Like I've never felt like, until after that DMT experience, I was like, this is like happiness. This is like what that's supposed to feel like. It was like the first time I ever felt it.
Dude, describe it to me, because like for me,
DMT?
No, happiness. Like what is happiness? As
I don't know, man.
Colin
like
Cummings.
The best way I could describe it, because I have such because I want money so much, like if I had $1 million, like the happiness I would feel, like after that DMT experience, I even said it to the people there. I'm like, I feel like I have $1 million in the bank. Like there was no, I don't want to say there was no worries, but like everything was okay.
Yeah,
everything was good, and like I just felt really good, and like that's the best way I can describe happiness. Everything was just really good. Like I felt like I had $1 million. Like if you can imagine what it's like to just have $1 million in the bank after like not having like anything really, or not having a lot, that's what it felt like. It was like I'm good. Everything, it felt, a better way to describe it, was everything was taken care of. It felt like everything was taken care of. That's what it felt like. It was weird. It still feels like that.
Well, since then, have you gone through like a rough patch since then?
Not a rough patch, man. Like ever since that DMT experience, my intuition is like fucking like just quadrupled. Like my intuition's very, very strong. And I have this weird thing where as somebody's talking, I'm seeing their motives more so than hearing their motives through their words. So like I've had some people try to like sell me on some things.
Like what? Come on, tell me. Tell me for the.
I can't get into it. But like I've had people like try to like somebody was like basically trying to take advantage of me. And
Okay.
and I could tell.
Right
like,
away?
I could tell what their motives were, even though they were saying something completely opposite. I could see through what they were saying, basically. And, like, my intuition's just become extremely strong. Like, it's just, like when I say, like, I'm going to do this podcast and, like, I'm just going to make inspirational content and I'm just going to do that and, like, just focus on, like, you know, like, perhaps getting into, like, doing workshops, giving some motivational speeches and stuff. Like, my intuition tells me fully that that's what I'm supposed to do. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that's what I'm supposed to do. It's such a weird thing. Like, it's so odd. Like, and it's just very strong. It's like there's something, like, pulling me towards, like, doing what I'm supposed to do. And, like, pulling me away. Like, really pulling me away from what, like, I'm not supposed to be around. It's weird.
And also, like, again, like how I told you, dude, it's like, are you even in control? Like, or is it, like, you're saying, like, how you say it, like, pulling you away, like, taking you, like, yo, Colin, this is what you want to do, but actually, we're just going to steer you in this direction here.
Yeah, and then you start to realize, because you're like, because, like, when I, like, if I go back to why I first picked up a camera, why I first wanted to start doing videos, because I wanted to do documentaries. That's what I wanted to do. That was like the first thing I wanted. I remember I was even looking into school courses like of documentaries. I was like, how do I make a documentary? I wanted to do that so bad. Then I got off that path because I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do that. I started vlogging. I started video editing. I started doing the video work for people. I started producing a podcast, did my own podcast. And as I sit down here, like after I had to come back here, have this reset, I sat down and I was like, what is a documentary made out of? It's made out of interviews. And then I looked at my portfolio of every single video that I've done for like clients. Everything, like, what's a documentary? It's a person talking at a certain angle and the camera's on them. All my portfolio is that. Everything that I know how to do, like in terms of podcast, everything that I've learned how to do is every single piece that I need to know to make a documentary.
Okay.
And like as much as it's like, oh, like it's like I just got brought back full circle. Like now I know how to make documentaries. Like that's a thing I can do.
Wow.
Now. Like I just like
after
learning all this shit, like I know how to make a documentary now. And I wanted to make a successful podcast. I wanted to make a successful show. After producing that show for my buddy and having to get pushed and stretched to like get it online and make sure that it got views and make sure that it got up on SoundCloud and YouTube and all that shit. Now I know how to do that for myself. And when I was doing my podcast at first, I didn't know how to do any of that shit. So it's like, I don't know if we're in control. Because I was like, I'm going to do this. And like, all it did was like teach me the shit that I need
for the other thing.
It's like, holy fuck.
Dude, and that's the same thing about kind of comedy, like working with kids, working with like a crowd, and then strip club, being on the mic. And
right.
Like,
it's like, it's setting you up. Like, think about like all the things that it takes to do comedy. And then all of a sudden it's like, you have all that.
Wow.
It's like, you have fucked up stories.
Wow.
You know how to handle a mic. You know how to be in front of a crowd. Like, you have all the things. And you got long fucking hair. You look like fucking Jay and Silent Bob. The Jewish version. Right? Like, it's fucked. It's fucked the way that works. It's so weird.
And like the saying goes, shoot for the moon and land in the stars, you know? And like, even though you're aiming for like that, you may not get what you're aiming for, but you'll still be on like a higher than you were.
Much higher. So it's weird. So are we in control? I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like you think you are until like you look back and you're like, wait a second.
What's really controlling us, dude? And what's like,
man, this conversation changed the way I'm gonna do this podcast. And literally I can't even stress it enough. I'm looking at my phone. I have a fucking picture right here. I even took a fucking picture of it. I took a picture. I posted it on my stories. I posted it on my fucking stories on Instagram. Yo, your picture's so funny.
You posted the picture of me at the gym?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Man, I gotta fucking find that picture. I put it on my stories. I'll find it later.
So what is this picture exactly?
It's just fucking, it's fucking, what's his name? David Goggins.
Uh-huh.
So I was listening to a book. Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Oh shit! It went away.
Oh, it went away so fast. It's the last one. You gotta hold it. Make sure
Hold
you
what?
Hold the actual picture.
Okay, like put my finger on the screen or whatever. I don't know. Now I'm like you with technology. Before. Okay.
Put your finger on it. Just hold it. Don't touch it.
Okay. So that's what. Oh, so yo, you weren't fucking kidding, huh?
Look at all the ones. And bro, I see these numbers all the time. I always see these triple numbers. 111, 333. This. Like I see it all the fucking time. It's so fucking weird. So 111, 111. Basically, like when you see 111, it's like they say it's like your guardian angels telling you that you're on the right path. And right away, I'm like, this is a sign that I'm always supposed to speak my truth. And I didn't even say that because of this conversation. I said it because I just finished doing an Instagram story because somebody was telling me how to talk on my fucking Instagram. They like sent me a message. They're like, you should talk like this. Fuck out of here. I'm like, so I made a whole post about it. Then I saw that. I'm like, I thought I saw that because of what I just did. But then all of a sudden I looked and I saw you. And then you're like, I want to be on the podcast. And now all I've done on this podcast is speak my truth. And it's completely changed the way I want to do my podcast.
That's insane.
So it's like, I don't know if we're in control. Something just pulled me to this. And then all of a sudden you were like, you thought of me and you wanted to be on the podcast. And I was ready for it. And there was no static between us, even though like if we were smaller people, there might have been. And that's it.
It's crazy.
How weird is that?
What is the mind? That's crazy.
It's crazy.
And again, like, watch your thoughts.
Yeah,
because
right?
your thoughts become fucking, how does the saying go? Your thoughts become actions, your actions become fucking habits, and your habits become your character or something.
Yeah.
Something along those lines,
That's
dude.
so funny. I just saw that.
Really?
Yeah. I just saw somebody post something like that. It was like your habits. It was like your thoughts become your actions, and your actions like become your values, or your habits, and your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny.
Something like that, yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Dude, but it's real. Like, dude, thoughts, like, dude, it's crazy how thoughts, like, solidify and manifest into reality.
Yeah.
And, like, as much as we don't want to really, like, talk, people don't want to think that that's true. Like, it is. But, again, is it only true because you believe it? And that's the power of the mind. And, like, if you don't believe that that's true, maybe then, like, it won't.
It's just real, man. I remember one time when I was smoking weed back in the day. I was smoking weed with my uncle outside. And he's like, just look at all this shit. He's like, all this was thoughts. He's like, look at the house. He's like, someone just thought of it.
Wow.
And then they made it.
Wow.
He's like, someone just thought of that car and then they made it. The tire. Someone just thought of it. And then they made it. Like, he's like, everything's just thought. He's like, that's what everything is. It's so true. Like, why wouldn't you believe that thoughts are real? So somebody had to think of the microphone and be like, okay, I gotta make this thing. I gotta make this. They didn't even know it was called a microphone. They're just like, okay, I'm gonna make this thing. And then they made it. They're like, okay, like this is what it is. Like, fuck. I don't know, man.
So what's nature then? What is that the thought of God? You know what I mean?
Nature?
Like,
yeah,
you know
because,
what I mean?
Why does that exist? Oh, you know what? I'm actually gonna bring something up, but I gotta piss.
Are we taking a break? Are we pausing?
Say stuff.
No, I'm not gonna sit here. Listen, let's take a break. Let's take a break. I'm gonna go smoke one.
No,
yes.
That's gonna be like a 3 hour. No, we're
No.
almost at 3 hours.
Like, if you're going
3 hours. Stop it.
If you're going, listen, I'm gonna just roll.
I'm gonna have enough time.
I'm just gonna roll one right now. I'm just gonna fucking sit here and roll one. Hey guys, so I'm gonna roll a spliff right now while Colin's taking a piss. I'm gonna roll a spliff right now. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. I have Blue Widow, delicious Blue Widow from Canna Farms. Let's see what else I have here.
See how quick that was?
I have LA Confidential right here, courtesy of Aurora.
Wow.
I'm gonna. Oh, so are we back? Are we not?
We're back.
You made it seem like.
I was going to piss. How long do you think it takes for me to piss? Bro, you're not me. You can't roll a joint in a couple seconds.
I'll do it after.
It's only me that can do that. But when you bring up nature, you know what I was watching in the morning? These people have like a theory that mountains are petrified wood of gigantic trees. Like mega gigantic trees.
What? Whoa, that just gave me shivers. I don't know why, but like, that's weird. What? What do you mean? Petrified? What's petrified wood? What is it? What is
well,
it?
you ever seen like a thing get petrified?
No,
like,
I don't think so. No.
Like it'll be like, oh wow, look at that post. Instagram's weird.
Why? What do you mean?
It's just so much things that you'd have to go to a brothel to see back in the day.
Yeah.
You just see it on Instagram. It's weird.
Yeah, social media in general is just, it's weird, man. And I also think the world is like, I don't know, man, the world is kind of splitting into like people like me and who are just like, I'm not on social media, and then like people who live on social media, dude. Like people live on social media and like it's scary, man. Like people, like some people live for social media. That's their purpose.
Like they do everything for it.
Yeah, dude. And that is so fake.
Like they take pictures of their food.
Like, dude, that is just like, what's wrong with you? You know, like, what are you fucking... But, dude, it's crazy. It's deep. It's deep, man. It's deep. It's conditioning. It's like, it's fucking... Dude, it's fucking... You got to be careful with social media, I think.
You do. You
do, because you can... And, like... I don't know, man. I'm grateful maybe that like I didn't get too like into it, because like that's not, I want to live here, man. I want to live in this. I want to live in reality, not in fucking social media land, you know, where you just people present like the best. You know what I mean? The best, and that's not life. That's not life.
It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing when people do that. That's why I don't do that. That's why that person that was commenting on like the way I do like my posts, because I was saying, like, I was talking about how hard the run was. They're like, you should say that it wasn't hard. You should talk about how light you felt and how good you did and like all this stuff. And I'm like, no, it's really hard. It's like almost a 5K a day. People do that as a race. Like it's hard. It's actually really hard to do. And I was like, I'm like, and my thing is, I don't want to fool people. Like, you don't want to go. It's like if somebody's benching 300 pounds, right? Imagine some guy looked at you and says, oh, it's super easy. And you're just like, it's super easy? Yeah, man, it's a little challenging. It's a little challenging, but man, you throw it up. And then you jumped on there when he turned his back and you're like, I'm gonna fucking. And you went up and tried to bench 300 pounds. Well, what could possibly happen to you? You might fuck yourself up. Because this guy sold you on some bullshit dream of how easy it is.
Wow.
But if he looks at you and says, it's actually really hard, and I started at 100 pounds, and it took me 4 months to get to 300, or it took me 8 months to get to 300. So don't fucking touch these fucking plates until I'm done. You'd be like, oh, okay, cool. So like now I understand. And that's why I do that with the running, because I don't want to tell people that it's easy, and then they try and run 2 miles, and then all of a sudden they fucking fall out and fucking have a fucking heart attack or something. And then they're gonna be like, but he said it was so easy. It's not.
Yeah, and you know what?
Hard,
and now you mention that, like the things that are like valuable and like worth it are not easy. Like things that come easy just like don't have really any value to them.
No.
The things that like take hard work and fucking.
That's the shit.
That's the shit.
Like that's the best shit. You realize like that's the best shit. The shit that you have to work for is like the best.
Because of the struggle. Like it's not just fucking...
The struggle. It's a reward. If you just have something handed to you, that's not a reward. You know, you just got something. But if you had to work for it and then you receive it, it's rewarding. That's where fulfillment comes from. Because you're doing something that's worthwhile. I think that's how that works. That's what you have to do. But like I said, like you've had things handed to you, but trust me, when you find your thing, it's not going to be handed to you, and you're going to love it. You're going to love it because it wasn't handed to you. You're going to be so used to it, and you're going to be like, wow, I actually worked for this. Just like your physique. How happy are you with your physique?
I love it. I love it, and I did it all by myself.
Right?
It's the best. Wow.
So people are saying, because they look so similar, that these mountaintops could be gigantic trees. Could you
Like
imagine?
the whole mountain is a tree? Like
It
the
was at one point.
Wow.
Millions of
No,
years
a
ago.
fucking tree, like with fucking leaves and like, no. No way. Nah, I say nah. Trees that big,
Could
like
you imagine?
that?
Millions of years ago?
Nah.
You know they say Adam and Eve were like 50 feet tall, right?
I never heard that before. Really?
Yeah. Look into it.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Adam and Eve, 50 feet tall.
And like you see in ancient Egypt, they depict people being like 60 feet tall.
Really?
Yeah, as they go up in like the consciousness scale, they're like bigger. I don't know, man. What would happen if we had all that oxygen? What would happen to us?
What do you mean?
Would we get bigger? Our blood would be more oxygenated.
Because of those gigantic trees.
Yeah, like if we had access to like a larger oxygen supply, like what would happen? What would happen to your pineal gland if you had that much oxygen?
I don't know what happens to your pineal gland.
I don't know, man. That shit would be active as fuck. Do you know what your pineal gland is?
I don't know. I know it's like over here.
Yeah, like it's like your third eye. It's like the seat of the soul. It's the thing that like, I don't know. They say like it's the thing that brings about your sixth sense, kind of thing. And like a lot of it's calcified because of all the fluoride and like different things that like we abuse our like metals and stuff. All goes there and it like calcifies it and makes it like less active. Like imagine if you had access to like a super amount of oxygen. Like at all times.
Would that like decalcify it?
I think it would decalcify it, and I think it would make it bigger. I think bigger.
Make it big? You think it can grow like a muscle? Like
I think bigger people would have bigger pineal glands.
You think so? You don't think everyone has like the same size?
No,
like it's just
I think,
the fucking.
I think for sure if you were 60 feet tall, I think you'd have a bigger head, you'd have a bigger brain, and your pineal gland would be this big, and you'd be able to do some fucking different type of shit. That's what I think.
Dude, that's a fucking. I've never thought. Just expanded my mind. I never thought of some shit like that before, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Because that's like weird. You don't think somebody could be like that tall, but they do talk about like the giants and fucking.
Talk about all sorts of weird shit.
Weird shit, yeah, man. But you don't think deep down you don't think it's true. Because like, yo, how can there's like where there's.
I have no idea, but I know I've seen petrified wood and it looks like stone. Like it feels like
really
stone. Yeah. If you get a hold of some petrified wood, it'll break like stone. Like it's like stone. It doesn't look like wood. It's definitely not wood. At that point, it's not wood anymore. So maybe those mountains.
That's weird though. But like, what about volcanoes then? How is that a tree?
I don't. Maybe that's not it. Maybe a volcano and a mountain like aren't the same thing.
Well, I'm pretty sure all mountains used to be volcanoes.
What?
So look it up right now. Check it. All mountain like, I think that might be. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah. All mountains are volcanoes or were volcanoes, and I might be talking out my ass, but let's see what Google says.
Yeah, the people at Google are like, this guy's high as fuck. Look at the shit he's Googling right now.
It makes sense, dude. All like Let's see. What does it say?
Learning that all mountains are not volcanoes.
Okay. So it's talking out of my ass. See? Well, whatever. That's what Google is there for.
Whatever, man. If there's an article about it, so obviously people thought the same thing as you, right? Yeah, no, they're not all volcanoes. Wow. Yeah.
And what is a mountain?
They're showing the difference.
Like,
yeah,
dude, what the fuck is a mountain? This the fucking thing that's growing out of the ground.
Maybe it's a tree. Maybe it was a tree. Maybe that's why it's so high.
Holy shit, dude.
Why does it grow so much tree and shit? Like so much foliage on it. Like if you cut a tree down right now and you left it, like shit would start growing out of it. And that's what happens with mountains.
Shit grows out of it too.
Could you imagine a tree that big? I love when I see big trees. When I see a tree that like I can't even get my arms around, I'm like, yo, this thing's crazy. Can you imagine seeing something like that? Like the size of a house. Like the stump is like 4 times the size of a house.
You don't think that though, because a tree is like a fucking, it's like a round. ish.
What do you mean?
A tree, like, you know, that when you cut a tree, like a stump, it's round. It's a circular thing.
Yeah, when you cut it, right? Then it's like a lot of those mountaintops are cut. But like, what happens when a tree breaks? Think about it. Think about like if a tree just like went
Okay.
and just broke at the stump level.
Okay.
What would happen?
I don't know. What do you
It'd
mean?
have ridges and peaks.
Okay.
Because it would break.
Shit, dude. Hey.
I was watching this weird documentary about it. It was so weird. I was like, what the fuck?
Mountains used to be trees, huh? That's a fucking theory. Dude, that's wow. You don't wow.
Could you imagine?
And
And
like,
then of course the conspiracy theorists are like, who cut down the trees? Who the fuck cut down those trees? And why?
oh, so dude, you think that's just like a stump? The mountains are just you think it went
Yes.
even fucking, dude. I thought you were saying just like the mountain itself, like that was the tree.
No, that's not a tree. That's the fucking stump, bro. And it fucking, oh, can you imagine how high that tree would be?
Wow, dude.
It's like I got a contact high from being around you.
You definitely, dude. I fucking smoked the spliff right in front of you for sure. You did.
Man. Can you imagine
Yes, I can, and not just fucking.
how high that tree would be?
And like, what kind of fucking like crazy shit lives on it? Like the tree, and like,
Right?
what kind of crazy fucking dinosaurs or some shit? Like, dude, what if there's like, who knows? Like fucking some crazy monsters or some shit. Huge fucking.
Yeah, right? Like if you could go back, I wish I could go back and see
Who
that.
cut down the trees, dude? That's a crazy question. Who cut down those fucking trees and why?
They're like,
If they were.
these people are too big and they're too powerful. If we cut down these trees, their next of kin will be smaller and they'll get smaller and smaller.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Wow. That's fucked.
That's right, guys. We took this turn. That's what happens after fucking 2 hours and 58 minutes. You take a turn. Fuck. It's true. Like, I don't know. It's weird. And it's just something that I love that theory just because I love big trees. And every time I see a big tree, I'm like, yo, look at that fucking thing. Like, there are trees that, like, literally are, like, I forget, like, they're guarded and, like, fenced off. And then the documentary was talking about, like, why do we do that with those trees? And then they were showing these huge trees that, like, in the 1800s that these guys were just cutting down. Like, gigantic trees. And they're like, why were they cutting them down? Like, why did they need to do that? Like, they could have just cut down the smaller trees. Why were they cutting down? Weird.
Something to think about.
Yeah, right?
And like, dude, what is a tree anyway? Like, what the fuck is this thing that we call a tree? Like, we call it a tree, but like, what the fuck is a tree? Like, it's this thing that just like grows out of the ground that like, some things have fruits, some things are just fucking just a tree, like a regular old pine tree, like, you know?
Right?
That gives life, and it drops fucking pine cones and like it drops like life. It's
Gives
like
us oxygen.
that's what they say. That's what they say, dude. But what is a fucking tree?
You think the tree? Do you think they're really pumping oxygen? We're like, what? You think they're pumping oxygen in?
Like, dude, what do you mean? So you're saying if you cut down all the trees in the world, then there'd be no oxygen?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know about that. I don't know about that.
Wait.
I don't believe in oxygen.
What?
I don't know. Wait.
What do you mean?
It's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's an endless supply, like, unless you fucking like go underwater. So I don't know, but like there's an endless supply of oxygen. Maybe I'm fucking again talking out of my ass, but like, I guess I don't know, dude. Like, fucking
If we would
you just
cut
breathe.
down-
It's like breathing. I don't know. You just breathe in and out. That's just
If
the way it
we,
is.
it says if we would cut down trees, what is going to happen is that the population won't stop growing, but oxygen in the atmosphere will reduce. Trees have to breathe to live. same as us and every living thing on the planet. They breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
We breathe out carbon dioxide and breathe in oxygen. So yeah, we're done if the trees are done, bro.
Really?
There'd just be less oxygen, and then we become even smaller. We were giants before, bro.
Really? Wow.
You're proof of that. You're European, bro. You for sure have some giants in your bloodline. Back when there were massive trees. Some huge fills walking around.
Yo, that is a very intense thought to think that we used to be like giants. Yeah, but what about Neanderthals, right? Like that's like that. You don't think that was like they're bigger than humans?
No, I think all those things existed. I think like there was giants.
Were we the giants though, or were the giants like a separate thing from us? You know? Because like David and Goliath. What about David and Goliath? Like that's like he fought the giant. Like
how weird is that? He fought a giant,
and he fucking murked him with the stone.
Yeah. And that giant had 3 eyes. That giant's pineal gland was so big that it actually grew a 3rd eye.
I don't remember that part from.
You never saw that? Or no, didn't the giant have 1 eye?
No, that's like a cyclops, dude.
I think that's what it was.
The Goliath? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Like,
I have no idea.
I don't remember him being a cyclops, though. No, he's just like a fucking
there?
giant. I wasn't there,
no?
but fucking from the story that I recall, I don't recall him ever having 1 eye. But yo, he got hit in the pineal gland or something with the rock, I think.
Yeah. What are the 3 things people get wrong? Goliath can't see. What? Start with the fact that Goliath is a giant, mighty, 6'9" warrior. That's what people say. He's a big guy by modern standards. He would have been absolutely colossal and big. Oh, biblical. Oh, because they were all small back then. So him being 6'9", they're like he's a giant. How fucked is that? I don't know, bro. I don't know. When we start getting into Bibles and stuff, I don't know what's going on there.
What's the deal with the Bible?
I don't know, bro. Isn't the Bible just the Torah? You're just on birthright. You should know what the deal is.
All I know, dude, is that like I'm Jewish and I'm fucking Israel is my home. And that's where I belong, dude.
That's it, right?
That's it.
That's amazing.
It's crazy, man, but it's actually like the land of the Jews, and like to go there and
feel it,
dude. It's all Jewish people there. It's like Thornhill. It's like, dude.
It is like Thornhill.
No.
It is,
dude. No. It's like I can't. It's different because Thornhill, dude. People are still like they're not together. Like everyone's still kind of like in their own. Dude, there's a sense of community. There's a sense of like connection. Yeah. Dude, everyone is Jewish. Even now, Thornhill isn't as Jewish as it used to be.
First of all, everyone's not Jewish in Israel.
Well, it feels like it.
Doesn't it feel like it here?
Because they're the majority. No, because we're still the minority here in Israel.
What? In Thornhill?
Even it's more multicultural than it used to be. I think. No, you think the Jew? Someone told me like. Someone told me. I can't remember who. Recently, they're like Thornhill's not as Jewish. Like it's more. There's more Filipino. There's more whatever.
There's more Filipinos than Jewish people.
I'm not saying there's.
That's crazy talk.
No, but there's obviously like it's not. Like it used to be really Jewish, but like now there's more.
Bro, we can walk fucking 80 meters away from here and see a 60-foot menorah. What the fuck are you talking about? And then we can walk another 20 meters and see a giant sign that says Shabbat Shalom.
Okay.
What are you talking?
Okay.
I don't know. I live in the core.
That's just a little. Right? That's just a little like a little.
But Thornhill is little.
Well, dude, this is like a whole country, dude. Thornhill is
Yeah, I
still
know,
like a
but, like,
minority. Like, dude, this is the
It's
whole
a minority of what?
of Jews.
No.
Yes. Well,
In Thornhill.
no, like in fucking Ontario, in Toronto.
Yeah, in Ontario.
Toronto.
Yeah, obviously it's gonna be like that. It's
We're the
fucking
minority. We're the minority everywhere, dude, except Israel. Where they're the majority.
Because now you're bringing it to like the country and like the province, right? Like you're like, oh, in Ontario though, like, but like we live in Thornhill, like, and you don't go to I don't even know another part of Ontario. We don't go to Thunder Bay. You're not going to Thunder Bay. I'm not going to Thunder Bay.
Okay.
You ever been there?
No.
Of course not. But where have you been? Been to Thornhill. When you live in Thornhill, you stay in Thornhill, basically. How many times are you like outside of Thornhill? When you live here, how much times are you like venturing out all the other places?
No, never.
When you're hanging out in Thornhill, how many of your friends are Jewish?
All of
I know all my friends are fucking Jewish.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? We can go down the street and get Judaica. You want some Judaica?
Okay, whatever. It's not.
My buddy moved to Calgary. My buddy moved to Edmonton, and he's like, because he's religious. He's like, he's like, I had no idea how lucky I was living in Thornhill. He's like, I can't get kosher wine. He's like, I can't get kosher this. He's like, he's like, it's crazy.
Okay,
The
this
community,
is
the community of Jewish
Fine,
people
I see
there
what
is,
you're
I think
saying.
it's 2,500 people there. He's like,
Calgary. It's even less.
yeah, because he's like right in Edmonton.
There's
like, right
more
by,
Jews in Edmonton than Calgary.
Yeah, he's in Edmonton. Like he's like right by.
Are we talking about
Mall.
Saba?
Yeah.
Okay.
Saba was like, yeah, he's like, I can't get anything. He's like, I gotta have it sent from Thornhill. He's like, you literally live in Little Israel. He's like, you don't even realize it.
Wow.
He's like, you don't even realize.
Wow.
That was like when he first moved over there. He's like, I don't even know what the fuck to do right now. Fuck. It's fucking funny, man. Whoa. Kanye West threatens planet with Joe Rogan podcast experience. Whoa.
What?
Is Kanye West on Joe
On
Rogan
Joe
right
Rogan? No way.
Because let me tell you guys something. I love my podcast, but I'll shut this shit down if Kanye West is on Joe Rogan right now. I'll shut it right the fuck down.
Kanye West is not on Joe Rogan. No way.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
What?
Yeah. You know that?
No, I didn't. No way. That's probably going to be like the most viewed
100%.
Joe Rogan podcast.
Because Kanye West
episode.
was like, I want to talk about mental health, and nobody will talk about it with me. And then Joe Rogan tweeted back, he's like, I'll talk to you all day about it. He's like, I'll talk about whatever you want, baby. Okay, it's not on yet. Okay. But when that shit comes on, oh man, I'm going to watch that episode twice. 100%. Bro, 6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock. I got a hot date.
Do you?
Yeah, actually, I do. This girl I met from Birthright. I'm going to go hang out with her.
How would you feel if you found out she was just a plant in order to make you feel good about the Birthright experience? And that's why those guys want to hang out with you. How would you feel if like the whole thing, how would you feel if like there was like a facility where they could see your power and they were like, he's the most powerful one. We need to get him back into the fold very heavily. And the whole trip was actually surrounded about you. And that's why you entertained everybody. Because they knew to laugh at your jokes the most.
Dude, I'm fucking shivering right now. That's crazy.
She's going to sleep with you right now because she's just like,
No.
he's the one.
No. You think so?
And they're like, it's this one. And then all of a sudden they saw you have long hair. And they're like, we can't have another Jesus. We got to bring this one in.
Honestly, dude, I wouldn't put it past the fucking Birthright. Dude, that is, they're on some scientific, like...
I've always thought that with like, anytime, like synchronicity has been happening in my life like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, man. Truman Show might be a real thing. This camera's right there. The camera right there. I don't know, man. Can you imagine? Are we in control? Who knows? I think we got to wrap it up here, guys.
All
This
right.
has been the process. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, dude.
Man, we have to hug on the end of this.
All
Take
right.
it easy, guys. Peace.
Peace.
Man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. That was a long one with Phil. Phil is hilarious, man. While we're like filming, like I was doing video. Something happened with the video. It got messed up for these 7 interviews about success and high performance and stuff. It was just so funny because every 30 minutes, my cameras they have a sensor that makes them stop. So they stopped, and then he's like, "Man, let's roll spliff." I'm like, "What?" He's like, like he had during this interview, he had a pile of weed on his lap. Like he was just rolling joints. He had a bunch of weed in a bag because he lives in Calgary, I believe, and yeah, so he just had a bunch of weed that he was allowed to fly with and blah blah blah. So pretty cool though. It was some crazy weed. At the time that we filmed this, I wasn't smoking weed, so I didn't get to try any of it, but I could tell by the smell of it when he was smoking that it was good. But yeah, that's Phil. He's a character, man, and I hope Phil the best in life. I hope he really figures it out. Yeah, and I really hope he does that podcast because I think he would do really well at it. I really do. He has no social media. Phil's not somebody. He's not on these podcasts for clout chasing. He has 0 social media. He does not want you to get in contact with him. He does not want you to keep up with his daily things that he does. Nothing. That was just Phil. He was just on the podcast just because. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like, share, subscribe. Even though this is only audio, I'm throwing it up on YouTube as well. I'm just gonna have my logo there and just let it run. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Share, subscribe, rate and review as well. Good ratings and good reviews, obviously. Needless to say, 5 stars all the way. Like, that's what you should. If you are listening to this part, you should give 5 stars because you've invested a lot of time. So you must kind of like me, or at least like Phil. You know, if you don't do it for me, do it for Phil. But yeah, not like other podcasts, don't have any sponsors, so I'm not going to go into some whole spiel about who this was brought to you by. It was brought to you by me and my curiosity. Peace.